Afternoon baseball in Austin under the sunshine in the SEC. It's game 2 of this 3-game top 10 series. Number 10 Mississippi State and number 4 Texas tangled today at UFCU Disch-Falk Field. Now the SEC standings with just 2 more weekends left after this one. It's Georgia and A&M atop the conference. Texas just a game back in the loss column. Mississippi State very much in the top 4 discussion as well as we wind down with the 2026 regular season. Glad you're with us this afternoon with the 13-year pro Mike Harge. I'm Chris Sylvester. The headline for Texas in its series opening win last night was the pitching. They matched the program record with 19 strikeouts.
You and I were talking about it before the game even started. We wanted to see a great pitching matchup, and that's exactly what we got. You look at what Dylan Volantis was able to do last night was nothing short of amazing. Tying a career high with 12 strikeouts. Well, he did that the weekend before when he started. So him being able to go out there and dominate the strike zone was something that the Texas Longhorn team needed on a Friday night in this top 10 matchup.
Dylan Volantis said after the game, there's just a different type of feel pitching on Friday nights, and he has been terrific in 3 starts atop the rotation. LeFew, Burns, and Cozart took it to the finish line as Texas snapped Mississippi State's 9-game winning streak. Ruger Riojas was the opening day starter back in mid-February for Texas. He was the Friday night guy before Dylan Volantis was moved into that role a couple of weeks ago, and he's hoping to bounce back after a loss in Nashville last weekend.
You know, Dylan Riojas is somebody that his mindset is perfect for this role. He knew exactly what the move looked like, and now he's getting an opportunity to pitch on a beautiful, beautiful day on Saturday. Texas needs him to bounce back from that performance against Vanderbilt. And talking to him last night, it seems like he's ready to go.
Features as many as 8 different pitches in his arsenal, and the Mississippi State offense will try and bounce back after they were held to just 1 run on 6 hits last night. Garrick Fry leading off for the Bulldogs provided that lone run on a solo home run off the left field foul pole. The switch hitter batting left-handed against the right-hander Ruger Riojas, and we're underway with game 2 in Austin. After some chilly weather and the rain passed through last night, it is a gorgeous day for baseball. 71 degrees at first pitch and a much bigger crowd in attendance for the middle game of this series. Travis Eggert calling the balls and strikes this afternoon. And unlike last night where it was tough to get a ball airborne and out of UFCU Disch-Falk Field, there's not much wind to speak of at the start of today's game. On 1-1 to Garrick Fry. He sends it foul down the right field side. Fry's hit safely in 7 straight games. In the 5th year in his 2nd season at Mississippi State, following 3 years at North Alabama. Having a nice year atop the order, has been a great catalyst for Hail State. Riojas on 1-2. It's lifted foul out of play.
We talked about Ruger Riojas and his 8-pitch mix. The one thing that he constantly needs to do is get ahead of hitters. He doesn't want to work from behind to try to get these guys out. His delivery is very important today.
That's a fair ball, scooped up by Casey Borba, and he taps on the bag for the first out this afternoon. One gone. It'll bring up the power hitting third baseman Ace Reese, who gets a mini scouting report from Garrick Fry. Per Kylie McDaniel of MLB.com, Ace Reese, the number 24 MLB draft overall prospect, and really boosted his stock here in his junior season. Leads the SEC with 18 doubles. Only player in the conference that has more than 15 doubles and 15 homers.
Ruger fires in a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. And you were talking about Reese and what he brings to the table as far as those power numbers. Last night was a tough night for him, but he did have some quality at-bats, so we'll see what he does against the right-hander.
0 for 3 with a walk last night as he pounds this deep to the gap in right center field. It one-hops the fence. The SEC leader in doubles stops at second with his 19th.
As we mentioned, got himself something he can handle, and against the right-hander, he saw it right out of his hand and was able to drive it in the gap for a stand-up double. If you're Ruger Riojas, you can't miss this high in the strike zone on a breaking ball. Reese with a great swing and was able to drive it into the gap.
Mississippi State was held to just one extra base hit last night among the 6 hits they had against Texas pitching. It was the Garrick Fry solo home run, but they get an extra base hit, couple batters into this one. And here's Noah Sullivan. First ball swinging, just foul outside the bag at third. Now here's the stash off we were looking forward to. The lip lettuce of Noah Sullivan. And Ruger Riojas has his own mustache out there on the pitching slab. Although I don't know if he spends as much time styling it like Noah Sullivan does before the game. How long do you suppose that takes? There's no way he wakes up with it looking like that.
If he does, then we got a bigger issue. Like, how does that stay like that?
Must just sleep on his back all night.
Got the little oil up there, making sure it stays crisp.
Sullivan 1 for 4 in the opener of the series last night. The designated hitter for Mississippi State takes off the inside. It's ball 2. Sullivan, the 5th year from Orlando, Florida, 2nd year at Mississippi State, spent 3 years in the Big South at USC Upstate out of high school. Lifts this one foul out of play. It's 2-2.
We talked about the weather, but the difference is that brightness that's going to be there. It looks like it's a high sky, so you're going to need to pay attention to the outfielders, and this is one of those days as an outfielder you don't want to take your eye off of it because it can get lost pretty easily.
Strike 3 swinging. Elevated the fastball. 95 as Sullivan goes down for the second out of the first.
Ruger Riojas changed the eye level on that fastball. You talked about a 96 mile an hour that stayed up, and Sullivan saw it in his eyes but couldn't leave it alone.
Two gone for the cleanup hitter Blake Beavis. Riojas trying to bounce back. Pitched just 3 innings at Vanderbilt last weekend. Gave up 8 hits, 5 earned runs, and a loss. Texas hoping for some length out of Riojas today. Hasn't pitched past the 5th inning in his last 4 starts. It's tapped foul. It's 1-1 on Beavis. He's much better across in his first 3 SEC starts compared to what he's done over the last month. Now 90 strikeouts on the season for the senior from Wimberley, about 40 miles from here. In the dirt with the breaking ball. It's 2-1. Beavis was on base twice last night, 1 for 3 with a walk. And 7 RBIs last weekend in Mississippi State's sweep of LSU. There's Riojas on a 2-1. And it's low and outside, ball 3. Jacob Parker's on deck. Ace Reese at second base. He doubled with 1 out. Full count.
Tough take right there. Something like that. You want to get out there and get out there early for that fastball as a hitter. He knows that the first base is open, so he might have been thinking he was going to try to pitch around it.
Payoff pitch to Beavis, and he strikes out swinging. Riojas strands the one-out double at second base and closes a scoreless first with back-to-back strikeouts.
Ruger Riojas rearing back and delivering a 95-mile-an-hour fastball on the outer third for strike 3.
Ruger Riojas keeps Mississippi State scoreless in the top of the first, and here come the Texas Longhorns to bat in the home half of the inning. Aiden Robbins, Carson Tinney, Anthony Pack Jr., who stretched his on-base and hitting streak up to 22 and 17 games respectively last night. It's Rodriguez, Mendoza, Becerra, Larson, Borba, and Maddox Mansour rounding out the starting lineup for Texas here in Game 2. Longhorns will face the 6'5 sophomore right-hander from Uvalde, Georgia, Duke Stone. He was really good in his last road start. Went 6 scoreless innings at South Carolina, but had a tough time at home with LSU last weekend. 4 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 7 earned runs allowed. And he's only lost 1 decision across his first 10 starts this season.
You talked about it. You got to look at the beginning of the ball game to see what his feel is going to be like as he's getting ready to face this Texas lineup. There's a lot of power at the top, but there's got to be some ways to work this way around when you get ready to face this lineup.
Texas did what they could against the talented Mississippi State pitching staff last night. Longhorns 3 runs on just 5 hits. Able to manufacture all 3 of those runs against the starter Tomas Valinkis, who was handed just his second loss of the season last night. Aiden Robbins knocked in 1 of the 3 runs for the Longhorns in the series opener. The Seton Hall transfer, who hit .422 in the Big East last year, has really popped on a lot of draft radars with what he's done in the move to Texas this year. A .354 hitter steps in and takes the first pitch fastball for strike 1. 18 homers, 47 RBIs for Robbins, who's been moved to right field for the first 2 games of this series. Jim Schlossnagle expecting Maddox Mansour to get the bulk of the reps in center field moving forward for Texas. Feels like it helps the outfield defense, and Mansour contributed with his bat at the bottom of the order last night.
You know, it was an interesting move to move Mansour into center field and Aiden Robbins into right. But you look at the speed that both of those guys have, it kind of helps this defense in the outfield. Anthony Pack Jr. in left, and what this team has been able to do to adjust.
A breaking ball just off the outside. It misses for ball 3. Texas with last night's win now 24-3 here in Austin this season. Going for their 7th conference series win today as Robbins fouls it back to fill the count.
I like Duke Stone coming right after him in that situation. Not messing around, giving him the heater. Fouled it off straight back, but aggressive right away, both guys.
Check swing. He did not go around on the appeal down to Danny Cricks, the first base umpire, and Aiden Robbins works a free pass to open up the Texas half of the first inning. And comes the power hitting catcher, Carson Tinney. Tinney was held hitless last night, but did get hit by a pitch to extend his on-base streak to 21 games. 3 infielders to the left of second for the right-hand hitting catcher, and he takes a called strike. Check swing, foul ball. Tinney during the on-base streak, hitting almost 400 with 10 home runs, 2 of those on Tuesday, including a walk-off to open this homestand against Sam Houston State. It was a wild 15-14 game here. A little bit different than what we saw last night.
Definitely different than what we saw last night. Last night's pitchers duel, something that you and I were very excited about because we knew both of those lefties were going to be very active around the plate.
Tinney able to lay off the breaking pitch as it kicks away from Maluski, and the throw to second in time to get Robbins. And Robbins is urging Jim Schlossnagle to challenge, and Texas will. Looked like Robbins kind of slowed down on the slide into second base. And an early challenge from the second-year Texas head coach Jim Schlossnagle.
You look at this and the way that he blocked this. This was a great job by the Mississippi State catcher to get in there and bounce up right away and make a strong throw to second base. Got his body turned around. Perfect throw on the bag. Nice pick. But it looks like he might have got in there with the oven mitt. Little bang-bang action early in the ball game. We're going to have this debate again? You want to go after it?
I'm good. I'm going to save my predictions for the Kentucky Derby in a few hours from now. It's Derby Day.
It is Derby Day. I've been looking in the crowd. I don't see any people wearing the special hats.
Another look at the play being reviewed at second base. Call on the field is out.
After review, the call is out. Texas has 1 challenge remaining.
We don't know if it was confirmed or if it stood. My guess is it was upheld. Very close play at second base. And Aiden Robbins, trying to advance on a ball in the dirt, is thrown out. 4th time he's been caught stealing this year. Base is empty with 1 down. And the 1-2 to Tinney is lifted in the air towards right field. In comes Jacob Parker for out number 2. Had some trouble with the sunshine. Just as you said.
It is going to be tough. It's going to play very, very tough in the outfield on the balls that get above the stadium. Those are the ones that are going to be a little bit different.
Two outs. Here comes Anthony Pack Jr., who continues to lead the SEC in batting average in conference play. 17-game hitting streak for the true freshman, who's reached base safely in 22 straight. Asked about his success in conference play last night, gave all the credit to the Texas hitting coach Troy Tulowitzki, former big league shortstop, as he bounces this one to Garrick Fry. And Duke Stone winds up facing the minimum despite yielding that leadoff walk. And a scoreless last half of the first.
or 8. I don't know. But yeah, I'm pretty ride or die on Max's pitch calling. So whatever he calls, I'm willing to throw. But I do have equal love for all my shapes in any count.
Ruger Riojas had that versatile arsenal on display, striking out a couple hitters in a scoreless first inning. And this is all 80s used. Little love for the sweeper there. Just 0.1% of the time he's thrown that sweeper. Of course, the sweeper is kind of a new term for a slider that moves a little bit more.
Well, it's interesting that you said that, and the 0.1% is just to put that in the back of your mind so you're not looking for anything else. I want to give you one more shot at it, a sweeper.
Jacob Parker leads off the Hail State half of the second. And he takes over the outside corner for strike 2. Only 2 at-bats for Parker last night before he was lifted for Vitas Valencius. Parker went 0 for 2 with a couple strikeouts. Having a nice freshman season. .327 hitter, 8 homers, 34 batted in. His twin brother JoJo Parker was the 8th overall pick last summer of the Toronto Blue Jays out of high school. JoJo now one of the top prospects in Toronto's minor league system. Promising young shortstop. Two and two.
Talked about Parker, what he brings to the game. It was interesting last night that he was pulled in favor of someone else, especially with the way that his numbers have shown. He's been able to play at a very, very high level since he's been here.
Parker had been swinging it well coming in. 5 hits, 7 RBIs across his last 3 games before last night's series opener. And in conference play, you could argue he's been one of the top hitters in the SEC.
Very, very talented young man.
He swings and foul tips the 2-2 into the glove of Carson Tinney. And it's the 3rd straight strikeout for Ruger Riojas.
One of the things about Ruger is you start to look at the elevation of his fastball. It's just so enticing to these hitters. And as somebody that's seen it before, it looks like you can get to that ball. You just can't catch up to it every single time.
One gone for Bryce Chance, the left fielder today for Mississippi State. He takes a little bit low for ball 1. Chance was 1 for 4 in the opener of the series, the 5th-year from Ridgeland in Mississippi. Sends this one in the air, drifting out of play. This catch made by, we got a security guard, policeman down there. What did he do with the baseball? He already got rid of it?
Oh, it fell out. He didn't catch it.
Oh, he didn't catch it?
Yeah, he dropped it.
Oh, well then why are they cheering
There's the
for
kid.
him? Hopefully they're cheering for that youngster.
You know what it was? They cheered because he kept it in front.
Okay.
There you go.
Don't
knock
quit,
it down and make a play.
Don't quit your day job. Here's the 2-1 from Riojas. And Chance drills it deep to left field. Pack going back, and shy of the warning track, he'll make the play. Chance gave it a ride, but the true freshman Anthony Pack Jr. able to catch up to it for the second out. Two down in the inning. Here comes Aiden Teal, the center fielder. Teal trying to bunt his way on against the overshift with only Temo Becerra on the left side of the infield. Now, the second inning for Mississippi State is been the offense's best frame all season. They've scored 60 runs this year in the second inning. That's at least 9 more runs than any other inning. But Riojas has kept them silent through a couple of hitters here. Bases empty, 2 outs. As Teal comes up empty, it's 0-2.
96 mile an hour fastball up and away. Comes back with an 81 mile an hour changeup. The changing of the speeds is something that always keeps people guessing.
Check swing, no swing. Eric O'Shea, who was behind the plate last night, signaling no swing down the third base line. It's 1-2 on Aiden Teal. He was 1 for 4 with 3 strikeouts last night. Got him swinging. Ruger Riojas bookends a 1-2-3 second with 2 more strikeouts. He's got 4 punch-outs through 2 scoreless this afternoon as he walks off with a smile.
I'd be smiling too if you can get over here with a high fastball and then come back with an off-speed pitch to end the inning with another strikeout.
Brian O'Connor has catapulted Mississippi State into a top 10 ranking here in the month of May, his first season at the helm. 22 years at Virginia, took that program to Omaha 7 times and took them to the promised land, won the 2015 Men's College World Series 11 years ago with Virginia, and trying to get Hail State back into that national title conversation. Mississippi State just 5 years ago, the national title winner in 2021. And Brian O'Connor has assembled a talented roster here in his first season with the Bulldogs, as Adrian Rodriguez leads off the bottom of the second.
I know that Virginia Cavalier fans are not happy, but Mississippi State fans are very, very happy with the move and what he's been able to create and getting that energy back.
1-2 here on Rodriguez as he faces Duke Stone. Faced the minimum in a scoreless first after Aiden Robbins walked to open the inning and then got caught stealing. Rodriguez was hitless in 3 at-bats last night. And to center field, hit well, chasing Teal back, and he makes the play for the first out. Rodriguez struck it well, but to the deepest part of the yard. Year 2 for Jim Schlossnagle, trying to guide Texas to its 1,499th all-time conference win today. Reigning SEC Coach of the Year in his first season on the 40 acres. Texas was the #2 overall seed in the postseason, but they were stunned in the Austin Regional by UTSA, a team visiting on Tuesday. A healthy hack from Ethan Mendoza through the first one from Duke Stone.
I like what I'm seeing from Stone. He's been very aggressive at the plate. Good location, nice spots with his fastball. I like it.
0-2 on Mendoza, who had a double and run scored along with the walk last night. Ethan Mendoza has now hit safely in 6 straight games. Second year at Texas after a year at Arizona State. Swing and a miss. In the dirt, Maluski will complete the strikeout as Duke Stone has his first of the day.
You talk about changing the eye level. This curveball started above his head almost and down and through the zone. Got him way off balance. Got him on his front side and he could not stay back. Great pitch for Duke Stone.
He has missed quite a few bats this year. 74 strikeouts in his 54 innings now. And as he faces Temo Becerra with the bases empty. An 0-for-3 night with the walk for the graduate transfer from Stanford. Spent 4 years playing for David Esker and the Cardinal, including a redshirt season, which allowed him to play one more here in Texas. Into right field, Parker will play it on a bounce. First knock for the Longhorns as Becerra digs for second, and the throw off line. Parker had some trouble fielding that baseball on the short hop.
You're absolutely right. Good piece of hitting right here by Temo Becerra, being able to hit the ball to the right side, staying behind it and making sure that he let it work that way. But he was thinking too out of the batter's box. He had an idea about trying to make the play, but you see the bobble right there, looked up a little too quick, and Temo Becerra never slowed down and got to second base.
Now ruled out a single plus the error to allow Becerra to get up to second. And here's a chance with 2 outs for Ashton Larson. Larson knocked home the first run last night on an RBI ground out in the second inning. The designated hitter again today for Texas. Transfer from LSU. Hitter friendly, 2-ball, no strike count. Larson takes a called strike. Ashton Larson out of Overland Park in Kansas was a 20th round draft selection of the Minnesota Twins out of high school. Wound up starting 40 games 2 years ago as a true freshman at LSU before battling injuries much of last year. Still took home some hardware, part of that national title team.
Started 40 games. You earned that one. You earned that one.
Two and two.
Great tilt on that breaking ball, down and in on the lefty.
In the air to left field. Bryce Chance waiting for it to come down, and he squeezes out number 3. 2-out hit, but that's all for Texas. And we're through 2 in game 2.
bigger and stronger, it was pretty clear that he had a chance to be an elite starting pitcher.
He's very mentally aware and doesn't let things get too big or too small.
He throws gas now. His off-speed pitches are pretty nasty.
He now has the physical abilities to match his elite mental game.
He's the only one like him in the world.
Ruger Riojas threw 2 scoreless innings this afternoon. He struck out 4 hitters as he gets back to work in a scoreless game, and he was eager to bounce back after giving up 5 earned runs and 8 hits across 3 innings in a loss in Nashville. There's the line for Riojas through 2 frames today. Kevin Milewski leads off the top of the 3rd for Mississippi State. Riojas in his 2nd season at Texas after 2 years at UTSA, and wasn't in the weekend rotation until about halfway through last season. Was a reliever at the beginning of the year before Texas gave him the opportunity to start down the stretch.
One thing about him is you're going to see different angles, as you saw right there. Nice tight slider at 78 miles an hour, but he threw it sidearm. And you talked about him being in the starting lineup. That happened after Jared Spencer got injured and Texas needed some help, and he was able to step in, and now he's been in the lineup ever since.
He pitched out of the bullpen in Starkville last year, threw a couple of scoreless innings and picked up a win. Texas swept Mississippi State a season ago. And 2-2 to Milewski. That just misses. Tinney and Riojas thought it was strike 3. Instead, it's ball 3 and a full count.
I saw all them great umpires in the stadium. They thought that it was a strike 3 as well.
I think that's a little off the inside. Can't tap the helmet yet in college baseball. There's the payoff. And Milewski strikes out swinging. That's 5 through 2 1/3 for Ruger Riojas.
Another 80-mile-an-hour changeup that he feels so comfortable with that just kind of backs up for strike 3.
And Riojas and his teammate Dylan Volantis, and last night's starter for Mississippi State, Tomas Valinkis, among the top strikeout pitchers of the SEC this season, behind Hunter Dietz of Arkansas. That ball's drilled, but well fouled down the left field side off the bat of Drew Wires, getting the start at shortstop today, after Ryder Woodson started at shortstop last night. 16th start of the season for Wires, who's hit .320 across 50 at-bats, couple homers, 12 RBIs. The well-traveled senior from Columbus, New Jersey, at his 4th program in 4 years. Spent his freshman year at Stetson, sophomore year at Manhattan, and last year at Bryant, where he finished 10th in the country with a .407 batting average. Was a Brooks Wallace Award semifinalist, first in Bryant history. Base hit left field on 0-2. Drew Wires has the 2nd hit for Mississippi State.
It's a great at-bat by Wires, being able to be aggressive. You talked about it, first pitch, jumped out in front, hammered it there. Then the next pitch, got a chance to foul it off, and got himself a good pitch to get a base knock. Great at-bat right there by Wires.
Back to the top of the order with a 1-out base runner. It's Gehrig Fry. Bounced foul, it's 1-1.
Beautiful, beautiful crowd out here today. You mentioned it. You said this was going to be a great day for baseball. The sky is perfect. The breeze is great. And now you got a lot of fans here at Disch-Falk Field.
Chamber of Commerce weather day here on the 40 acres. Good off-speed pitch, 1-2. It is a guessing game against Ruger Riojas. You have to sit back and think about what, 6, 7, 8 different pitches.
And don't forget about that sweeper.
You never know. It's like the heavy underdog in the Derby today. Just might do it. Who was your pick again?
Further ado.
Further ado.
Further ado. If you're into those types of things.
I am. Who's not? It's Derby day, baby. High bouncer. Only play for Mendoza to first for the second out. Wires up to second base with 2 down, and we'll see how Riojas pitches to Ace Reese with the open bag at first.
This was a great read by Mendoza. Didn't know if he was going to get hit by the runner going into second base. Comes in and makes a strong play on the run.
A double for Ace Reese his first time. His SEC leading 19th two-bagger of the year as he comes up empty on the first pitch changeup.
If I'm Reese at this is at bat, as you mentioned, had a double my first time up, shot it in the gap. I'm going to sit off speed the entire at bat because the base is open, so I'm not going to look for anything hard. Now, it's not meaning he's not going to throw me something hard, but I will sit until I get something off speed in my wheelhouse.
And a double off Reese bat, 108 miles per hour. That one hop the fence in right center field back in the first inning. Another swing and a miss at the Riojas changeup. It's 1-2. Little issue with the pitch comm. Riojas saying he can't hear Carson Tinney.
Can you hear me now?
'50th pitch of the afternoon for Riojas on 1-2 to Ace Reese. And he puts him away with a fastball. 95 miles per hour right by the slugger. And it's 6 strikeouts through 3 scoreless for Ruger Riojas. We'll chat with Mississippi State skipper Brian O'Connor on the other side of a scoreless game. Home half of the third. No score in this top 10 showdown. Middle game of the series on a beautiful day for baseball. Mississippi State skipper Brian O'Connor joins us from the third base dugout. Coach, appreciate your time. Chris Sylvester, Mike Harge up in the broadcast booth. Duke Stone has looked comfortable through a couple of scoreless innings.
Yeah, he's done a nice job for us all year. Certainly he's had a couple of guys on, but able to manage out of it, and is doing a nice job. Texas is a patient offense to where you have to execute on them, and he's done a nice job in these first couple innings.
Coach, your offense needs to kind of find a way to get this thing going again. What is something that you've seen or your team might have picked up that might help them get things going?
Well, last night, we just chased a lot of pitches out of the strike zone, so we got to do a better job of handling the strike zone. Already today there's 3 strikeouts that are not even strikes, and so we just got to do a better job of handling the strike zone. Obviously, it speaks to Texas pitching staff. They've got one of the best pitching staffs in the country, and when you face guys like this, you have to be able to handle the strike zone, and then you got to come up when you do have runners on. You need to get that big clutch hit.
Brian O'Connor, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks.
All right, Mississippi State head coach Brian O'Connor hoping his starter, Duke Stone, can keep this thing scoreless through the early innings today. Casey Borba comes up empty. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the Texas first baseman.
Now, Coach O'Connor said something there that is very, very true and can be applied right here too. When you have good pitchers, you can't help them out by chasing out of the zone because you know they're going to be at a premium. So for that to happen, he hit that nail on the head about chasing out of the zone.
Foul ball off the bat of Borba. Maddox Mansour, Aiden Robbins to follow in the home half of the third. 1 hit through 2 frames for Texas against Duke Stone. He was a big-time swimmer growing up. Won 17 state championships as a swimmer, which would be my preferred style of cardio if that was a pitcher. Forget foul poles.
Exactly.
I'm trying to swim laps. And he strikes out Borba, his second punch out of the afternoon here.
We talked about it. He's been able to find his release point on that breaking ball and is keeping Texas off balance. If you can look at that level and that spin rate on there, he's been perfect with that today.
The center fielder, Maddox Mansour. First ball swinging in the air towards Jacob Parker in right field, trying to shield his eyes from the sunshine, and it lands a foul ball. Boy, he lost it in the sunshine. He's had a couple balls out that way that he hasn't quite seen well off the bat, and fortunate for Mississippi State, that didn't land in fair territory.
It's going to be tough. Right field at Disch-Falk Field is very, very tough to see, especially on a high sky like today. It's pretty bright out there.
Tim Schlossnagle said after last night's game he expects Maddox Mansour to get the bulk of the starts in center field here down the stretch of the regular season. This is his 9th start today, 8 hits and 35 at-bats. Had a single and a run scored last night. Drew Frosch from Carrollton, Georgia, against Duke Stone from Uvalde, Georgia, near Savannah. One and 2.
Tight slider right there. So we've seen his fastball elevated. We've seen his breaking ball, his curveball for strikes. And now we just saw his slider.
Mansour down swinging.
Finding that rhythm, rocking in that chair, and if you start getting that release point, you can get some good depth on that breaking ball. And it looks like a strike out of the hand, but ended up swinging over the top of that for strike 3. Stone is in the zone right now.
Back to the top of the Texas card, it's Aiden Robbins for a second time. He worked the walk before he was caught stealing in the first inning.
It's a good pitch. It's a good pitch.
And Robbins has been a welcomed addition, transferring in from Seton Hall, where he hit .422, first team All Big East last year. He leads Texas in a good chunk of offensive categories this season. 2-2.
He's one of the most sought after transfers in the portal. At one point he said he went on 11 visits in like 9 days. He was a busy man during that time.
Something about Austin stuck with him. And the Longhorns are happy he chose Texas. Top 10 in the conference, and a number of those categories we just showed you as well. Series finale tomorrow will be nationally televised on ESPN. Nice spotlight for this top 10 showdown. Another afternoon game and more nice weather expected. Another 2-2 on the way from Duke Stone to Aiden Robbins. And it's ball 3 with Carson Tinney waiting on deck. Robbins walked his first time and hit by a pitch here. A breaking ball that never really moved from Duke Stone, and a 2-out base runner for Texas in the third.
Yeah, you're right. It was a backup breaking ball that kind of stayed up and got behind him. Nothing intentional on that. And it looked like he was about to duck out of the way, and it just kept going. Got him on the front side of the left shoulder. You'll take that with 2 strikes, though. I'll tell you that all day long.
Only the second time all year Aiden Robbins has been hit by a pitch. And it gives way to Carson Tinney, who flied out to right field his only time.
Aiden Robbins looked like he was leaning just a little bit. It looked like he was a little deeper in his stance over at first base.
Tinney takes strike 1. 3 infielders to the left of second for the right-hand hitter, and with Blake Beavis holding on Ashton Robbins at first base, all Tinney has to do is roll one towards the right side, and Robbins will be running for a while. That's why Duke Stone's trying to keep him close at first.
If you look at Carson Tinney, his stance looks very, very relaxed at the plate. He's letting his hands and his body kind of coincide together. He's standing pretty tall, and then he kind of relaxes himself right before the pitch.
How does he generate so much power?
Have you seen him? But seriously, I mean, if you just look at his lower half, he's so strong on that bottom half that he can get that barrel there, and everything else just kind of generates together.
Stone paints the outside edge to jump in front. Tenney's 6th in the conference in home runs, and a good chunk of them lately. 9 homers across his last 67 plate appearances. Notre Dame transfer, All-American with the Irish last year in the ACC.
Early in the season, he was very patient at the plate. He was taking a lot of walks, and listening to Coach Tulowitzki and Coach Jim Schlossnagle, they wanted him to be a little bit more aggressive. Well, we see what happens when he's aggressive. Those numbers got really elevated quickly in the power department.
Still leads Texas with 36 walks this year. That's good for 5th in the conference. 2-2 with 2 outs. Robbins at first base. And another throw to check in on him. Big bat scheduled for Mississippi State when the 4th inning rolls around, and we'll chat with tomorrow's Texas scheduled starter Luke Harrison. There's a breaking ball over the inner third, and it's strike 3 called. 3 punch outs in the inning for Duke Stone, and we're scoreless after 3. Into the middle innings, middle game of this top 10 series. No score between number 10 Mississippi State, number 4 Texas. Tomorrow on ESPN, it's the series finale between the Bulldogs and Longhorns. Luke Harrison will get the baseball for Texas. He joins us from the Longhorns dugout, and this has been a true pitching clinic put on by your teammates here this weekend. How much fun has this been to watch from the dugout?
Oh man, it's been really cool to see. You know, everybody who's really been out there this weekend for us, but Dylan and Ruger especially, just going out there and filling up the zone. Quality stuff. A lot of compete between them.
You brought it up. You talked about a lot of compete, and there's a lot of competition amongst friends in that dugout as well. What do you take from each other after you watch a start? Especially, let's take Dylan, for example. Big lefty coming in, having a great time, and then all of a sudden you get your opportunity as another lefty coming out. What was your scout when you saw what he was doing yesterday?
Yeah, I think the cool thing about our rotation, us three, is that we're all very different, pitchers and also different kind of competitors. I think we all have different ways of getting to be at our best, and that's kind of what I learned from the other guys, is watching them just go about their business and be themselves in everything they do.
Luke, I must ask you a question, because you've got one, Ruger has one, and Noah Sullivan, who's at the plate, looks like he spends a couple hours on his before each game.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely it feels like a trend right now in college baseball especially, but I feel like the mustaches normally belong to the pitchers.
That's a good thought. I like that. It belongs to the pitchers. Speaking of that, you look at your staff, and what goes on. Y'all prepare all together before you start. Everybody's jumping around. Everybody's getting that good zen going. Talk about what Max Weiner has brought to this team to kind of get everybody on the same page.
Yeah, I mean, his impact on our pitching staff is, can't really say enough about it, but just the culture that he's brought in, and the support that we have between the first guy that's out there and the last guy in the bullpen is really cool. It's a special family environment that it's really hard to get to in college baseball these days.
Full count pitch coming to Noah Sullivan, and he socks it in the air towards shallow right center field. In comes Aiden Robbins to make the play for the first out. Luke Harrison, tomorrow's starter, joining us here on SEC Network Plus. You've had some of your better outings here at home this year. Talk about the comfort of waking up in your own bed and having your usual pregame routine before a home start.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's a blessing to take the ball at the dish any day. I mean, especially a day like today. It's 75 degrees and beautiful. It's just a great place to pitch. And you got that defense behind you. Let them roll it on the turf, and they'll make plays.
Blake Beavis smashes one deep to left field. Anthony Pack Jr. curling around, and shy of the warning track, he has room. 2 outs.
Luke, I wanted to ask you this because you've got some special younger players in that pitching staff and that role. Sam Cozart, what he brings at the end of the bullpen. And then, of course, you got Anthony Pack Jr., another freshman that has been a huge impact. Talk about the freshman class and what they've been able to bring to the University of Texas.
Oh, man, it's a special group. I think, they just bring a lot of heart and a lot of compete. Obviously, they're very talented players. That's why they're here. But, those two guys especially, just the way that they can, be themselves every day, be very consistent. And, it's really hard to find those young players these days that are able to be instant impact. But we got a few really good ones and a few guys that are going to make an impact for a long time to come.
Fastball over the inside edge levels the count here against Jacob Parker. Now, we had Ruger Riojas join us last night as Dylan Belantis was doing his thing, and he told us his pregame routine was getting the same cold brew from the same spot. What's your go-to pregame coffee or meal before an afternoon ball game?
Yeah, I'm normally make the coffee at home kind of guy. I think I got like a $15 coffee maker at home, but it does the job. But yeah, I mean, just getting a good meal in, get a good breakfast, and then I like to keep it light with the lunch, and then go out there and take the ball.
There's the 1-2 pitch. And Parker the other way, hit pretty well. Anthony Pack Jr. to the wall, it's gone. Jacob Parker gives Mississippi State its first lead of the weekend with an opposite field blast. All right, Luke, thanks so much for your time. Good luck tomorrow, and we look forward to watching you do your thing.
Thanks, guys. Hook 'em.
Oh, an opposite field home run. Jacob Parker. I mentioned how well he had been swinging it coming into this weekend series, and goes out the opposite way to give Mississippi State the first run here in Game 2.
That was very impressive shot to left field, because that wasn't just to left field. That was an opposite field bomb that hit the back of the bullpen. That was a strong swing right there by that young man. Impressive power. We saw what he did last weekend, and he was able to bring it here today with an opposite field bomb.
Had a big-time game-tying grand slam against LSU last weekend in Starkville, and gives the Mississippi State bats a little bit of a boost here against Riojas, who had been cruising through 3 2/3 innings. 372 feet the opposite way, and it left Jacob Parker's bat at 100 miles per hour. Now Bryce Chance with a slow bouncer. Riojas backhands and throws him out at first base. A 2-out solo blast. Jacob Parker takes Ruger Riojas deep, and Hail State has its first lead of the weekend in Austin.
You see the ball elevated, the backspin came off of it. Great power by Parker. The Bulldogs up 1-0.
Gorgeous day for baseball here on the 40 acres in Austin, Texas. A 1-0 lead for number 10 Mississippi State on a Jacob Parker solo home run in the top of the 4th inning. Chris Sylvester with Mike Harge, Jake the producer, Jake Williamson, and our director Daniel DePoe. Glad you're with us on SEC Network Plus. Texas took the opener of the series 3-1 last night, and Anthony Pack Jr. contributed with 2 walks and an RBI single to stretch his hitting streak to 17 games. Duke Stone trying to deliver a shutdown bottom of the 4th after his offense was able to give him a lead in the top half of the frame. Mississippi State 23-3 this year when they score first. And oftentimes when they've been given a lead, they hold it. 1-2 on Anthony Pack Jr., the freshman. Adrian Rodriguez, Ethan Mendoza scheduled after Pack here in the Texas half of the 4th inning. 2-2.
Big breaking ball has been consistent today for Stone. It's keeping everybody on that front side, and nobody can get settled in at the approach at the plate.
Rolled towards the right side. Fry shuffling to his left and throws out Anthony Pack Jr. for a second time in this game. One gone for the cleanup hitter, Adrian Rodriguez. Hit the ball hard. Skied out to center field, his only time in the second. Rodriguez going after the first pitch into shallow left field. It's Bryce Chance for out number 2.
For Stone, you're liking the fact that they're jumping off of these first pitches, keeping your pitch count down, and knowing that you have good stuff working today.
Much better start to this game compared to his last outing at home against LSU. Was chased in the 5th inning of that contest. No decision as Mississippi State would come back to win it. Bulldogs' first sweep over LSU since 1985.
And they did it in every way possible.
They came back in all 3 of those games. Ethan Mendoza bats with 2 outs. Mississippi State had won 9 straight before Texas snapped the winning streak with the 3-1 winner last night at home. In there, 1-2.
It's a tight breaking ball.
Mendoza struck out on 3 pitches when he faced Duke Stone in the second. Stone trying to put him away here and complete the shutdown frame as he just misses off the outside with a 94-mile-per-hour fastball.
You could see that he wanted that one right there, snuck that one in there. Struck him out last at bat with a curveball. And you see if he goes back to it right here.
Fastball drilled into center field. Ethan Mendoza has hit safely in 7 straight. It's a 2-out base runner for Texas in the 4th.
Ethan Mendoza was hunting fastball, got it. And as you mentioned, shot it right back up the middle. Nice barrel action by Ethan Mendoza.
Duke Stone had just seen his life flash before his eyes on a ball that was absolutely smoked off the bat of Ethan Mendoza. And it'll give Temo Becerra an opportunity. He singled against Duke Stone in the second. He has the only other Texas hit. He squares to bunt, drops it down. Stone throws it wildly. past first base. Nobody's covering second. The throw comes home. They kicked away from Maluski, and the Longhorns on the throwing error will have him at second and third.
Good idea by Becerra to get some action going to kind of change the way the momentum was going. You get a hard base hit up the middle by Ethan Mendoza. He sees the third baseman playing back. Stone comes up, tries to get the ball out quick. It would have been a bang-bang play at first and just overthrew it. But great backup by the second baseman to make sure that he was there to kind of stop everybody from trying to advance another base.
The second Mississippi State error of the game. And this one potentially opening the door for a two-out rally for Texas. Number 25, Florida. Number 15, Oklahoma. Play game 2 of the 3-game series tonight in Norman. We'll have it for you right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Oklahoma came back late last night as the Florida bullpen spoiled another stellar start from Aiden King, their Friday night ace.
As you mentioned, spoiled another one.
First ball swinging. Ashton Larson rolls it to Drew Wires. And just like that, Drew Stone works around some two-out trouble.
Championship. It's the Dogs and the Doors. And they're having a good time tonight. Dominating performance from Mississippi State. See you later. Oh, Hail State 9-0. Mississippi State, the national champions.
They're going to party here. They're going to party in Starkville, and they will never forget this moment.
5 years ago, Hail State captured the Men's College World Series title. So many ties in this series. Beat Brian O'Connor in Virginia, beat Texas to advance on to the championship series. Longhorns did put a blemish on Mississippi State's run to that championship series, but the Bulldogs would get revenge against the Longhorns 5 years ago and wound up defeating Vandy in the 3-game championship series to clinch the title. Chris Lemonis led Mississippi State to the championship that year, and there are the Bulldogs in a good spot to host a regional this season after they were knocked out of the Tallahassee regional last year. D1 Baseball's projected field of 64 has Mississippi State as the 13th overall seed with Oregon, Oklahoma State, and Wright State.
You start thinking about the history of baseball and realizing that that was their first title was in 21. And that, to me, is more shocking than the fact that they won that. You think about those great teams that they've always had. And like anything else, you know as well as I do, this is a hard game, hard game.
Just ask Jim Schlossnagle, who got A&M so close to a title just a couple years ago. Not easy to be the last one standing, as Aiden Teal takes a called third strike from Ruger Riojas. his 7th of the afternoon. Brian O'Connor not agreeing with Travis Eggert's strike 3 call on that last pitch.
Yeah, he thought it was up, but it didn't look that high. I mean, those are some of the pitches, as he said earlier, guys are chasing and getting out of character, and then you try to be disciplined, and it's one of those borderline strikeouts.
Here comes Kevin Milewski, the catcher. He was a strikeout victim his last time, as he can't check his swing on a called first strike. But Jacob Parker's solo home run, the difference here in the top of the 5th inning. Only 3 hits for Mississippi State against the Texas starter Ruger Riojas. There's a bouncing ball outside the bag at third for strike 2. Best start this year for Riojas a few weeks ago against rival Oklahoma. 7 shutout innings against the Sooners. Over Riojas, behind the bag at second. Mendoza throws out the catcher Milewski. Ruger Riojas now through 4 2/3 innings of 1-run baseball today. A much better outing, bouncing back from that performance in Nashville a week ago.
You mentioned Stone's life flashing before his eyes. I think Ruger Riojas' life flashed before his eyes on that comebacker. But what a great play by Ethan Mendoza, going to the shortstop side of the bag to make the play.
2 gone. First ball swinging. Line drive. And Becerra picks it up on a bounce and throws out Drew Wires. It's a quick 1-2-3 frame for Ruger Riojas. And we're halfway home on this Saturday afternoon. Under the sunshine in the SEC from Austin, Texas, a 1-0 lead for number 10 Mississippi State. The end of the bottom of the 5th. Less than 3 weeks from now, the 2026 SEC baseball tournament commences in Hoover. If we halted league play at this very moment, this is what the conference tournament would look like, with both Texas and Mississippi State earning a double bye into the quarterfinal round of the conference tournament.
You know as well as I do, the key is the double bye. So at least you know you're already into the quarterfinals. You don't have to use as much pitching, and you can get some guys some rest leading up to the NCAA tournament.
Hard to find an open seat today with much better weather. Game 2 of this series. Last night's first pitch was pushed back an hour after a 24-hour rainstorm, and some flash flood warnings came through the area. Jim Schlossnagle badly wanted to avoid a doubleheader and able to get it in. It wound up clearing out about 7:30 local time here last night. And Duke Stone, 4 shutout innings, just 3 hits allowed. Will face Casey Borba, Maddox Mansour, and Aiden Robbins in the Texas half of the 5th.
Duke Stone is finding a way to get comfortable on that mound. You see he's kind of settled in. We're in the 5th, bottom of the 5th, and his fastball has still got good life to it. The breaking ball has got good tilt to it.
2-1 here on Casey Borba, the junior. Homered on Tuesday in that wild 15-14 Texas win over Sam Houston. Longhorns trailed by as many as 6 runs in that game before coming back to win it. Borba had a big 3-run home run to fuel the comeback, and he's worked a 3-1 count here against Duke Stone.
Borba is somebody that Texas would love to see get going down the stretch.
In the air to deep left center field. Back to the wall and goodbye. A solo blast for Borba. And the game's tied at 1.
Bang, bang. Casey Borba hit that thing to get the Longhorns on the scoreboard. We just talked about it. This is somebody that Texas is looking to get going, to finish the season off strong, and he got something he can handle. And now we got ourselves a tie ball game once again.
Second big fly of the homestand. A little curtain call for Casey Borba. His 28th career home run in burnt orange. His 71st Texas homer of the season. And we are right back where we started.
It's what you expect in SEC baseball and the top 10 matchup. 2 teams going at each other with all the implications that are there. This is fun.
103 miles per hour off the bat. The ball traveled 381 feet before landing. And with Borba's 12th home run this year, that ties a single season career high for the junior from Orange County. 9th home run allowed by Stone as he strikes out Maddox Mansour for a second time.
That's how you come back there by Stone, being able to come back after this home run by Casey Borba. He got ahead in the count and got a pitch elevated, and you could tell right away that he was feeling good right off the bat. He's a strong young man, and it was able to carry out to left field. You had mentioned the way that today's weather was going to play, and you got a chance to see it right there. Just over the Yeti yard in left field.
Aiden Robbins has been on twice. No official at-bats yet for the right fielder. He's walked and been hit by a pitch against Duke Stone in this game. Over the inside edge.
Loving the competitive nature of Duke Stone. Went away and then came in under the hands for back-to-back strikes. Now let's see if that curveball works.
Jack Bauer, the flame-throwing southpaw, starting to throw the ball up against the wall in the Mississippi State bullpen. Bulldogs bullpen has been elite the last few weeks. Aiden Robbins to the alley in left center field, and that drops in. Base hit. Robbins on his way to second, and he's in there with the double.
I don't know, did it sound kind of different coming off the bat right there? Like he might have got it off the end or got in on his hands a little bit. Nonetheless, he got himself a ball up again in the zone. Breaking ball. Got it off the, well, it looked like he got it off the barrel. I guess the wind might have knocked it down just a little bit. But it was going to be a bang-bang play at second base, but he gets in there standing up.
Probably should have slid, hindsight.
I don't think last night,
I don't think he expected that play to be all that close. 8th double of the year for Robbins. And here's a chance for Carson Tinney to knock him in and give Texas the lead.
is a good breaking ball.
The sharp slider has been tough for these Texas hitters to pick up this afternoon. See what Robbins has done with runners in scoring position. A 463 clip. Texas has a team this year. It's part of the reason they've been so successful. 336. The Longhorns combined with men in scoring position. 0 for 2 today. As Tinney sends this one to deep right field. Headed towards the corner, and it curls foul at the last moment.
There's one thing about this squad. They try to stay behind the ball enough that they're not trying to pull everything at the approach. Tinney and Robbins have good power to right field.
.325 to the right field foul pole compared to .340 to left here at the dish. Tinney shoots one that way again into the crowd for another foul ball. Two on the Texas catcher. Couple extra base hits in the inning. A Casey Borba solo home run to tie it. And a 1-out double off the bat of Aiden Robbins, who's been on base 3 times. Full count. Anthony Peck Jr. on deck. There's the payoff to Carson Tinney. Not before a twirl around and courtesy toss to try and keep Aiden Robbins close off second.
It's a perfect way to describe that, a courtesy toss.
He had no intention of picking him off there.
None.
He just wanted to see if maybe he'd run on first movement. 3-2. Swing and a fly ball. Shallow left center. Out goes the shortstop Wires. And it's the left fielder, Bryce Chance, among a crowd of Bulldogs making the catch for the second out.
Yeah, that did not look good how many Bulldogs were there to go out for that ball, but they had it covered. Chance coming in, knowing that he has control. He actually called it and everybody tried to tail away from him.
2 down, Robbins at second. Anthony Peck Jr. hitting a ridiculous .449 this year with men in scoring position. He's also been the top hitter since the start of SEC play. Getting on base more than half the time he stepped in there. And Peck going after the first pitch, flares it foul out of play for strike 1. Peck had a base hit with a runner in scoring position last night. It was an RBI single in a 2-run 5th inning for Texas. Longhorns took the opener 3-1 over Mississippi State. Peck in 2 at-bats against Duke Stone has rolled over to second base twice. He's got an on-base streak of 22 games and a hitting streak of 17. He's trying to keep going here today. Over the inside corner for strike 2.
Looked a little tight right there, but he's been consistent with that ball on the inner half to lefties.
Doesn't chase the changeup that darts off the outside. Aiden Robbins doubled with 1 out. Representing the possible go-ahead run here in the 5th.
Love that the Mississippi State fans made the trip to Austin.
Hit hard. Myers has it and zips it across to throw out Anthony Pack Jr. But this game is tied, courtesy of a solo blast off the bat of Casey Borba. And it's 1-1 after 5.
As you always say, if you can beat me there, you got me. But if you meet me there, I don't know. And that was bang, bang, Borba bomb.
Texas has put the back end of this baseball game into the hands of its bullpen as the freshman from Phoenix, Brett Crossland, relieves Ruger Riojas. 6'5" right-hander from Phoenix, been sharp here in his first college season as he gets ready to make his 18th appearance.
This young man has been very impressive for the Texas Longhorns. As we talked to the pitching staff yesterday, he's in charge of the aux. He's the one that picks the good music. Well, he's hoping to bring some good music here to the mound for the Texas Longhorns.
Ruger Riojas across 5 innings of one-run baseball, missed a ton of bats, 7 punch-outs.
Another strong performance by Ruger Riojas. We talked about what it was like for him last week in Nashville. Here he comes back on this Saturday and delivers a great performance. Only giving up 1 run, and that was the big home run by Parker. And now he's got no decision in this ball game, and now it's up to the freshman to get things started.
Crossland will face the top third of the batting order as Garrick Fry leads off the Mississippi State half of the 6th. So Riojas got to face the starting 9 a couple of times, and Texas selecting to let somebody else face the top of the lineup card in their 3rd trip up today. Crossland out of Corona del Sol High School was the 2025 Max Preps Arizona Pitcher of the Year. Threw 3 no-hitters as a senior in high school. This is the inside edge, and it's ball 3 to Garrick Fry. Ace Reese, Noah Sullivan to follow. A couple of solo home runs have accounted for the scoring in this game. Jacob Parker went deep for Mississippi State. In the 4th inning, Casey Borba answered with a solo shot of his own in the bottom of the 5th. So officially a no decision for Ruger Riojas. Much better start this time for the Texas right-hander, who was chased after 3 innings last week. As that one went off the lower half of Fry before it made its way out to Crossland. Crossland pitched a 1/3 of an inning here on Tuesday against Sam Houston and allowed just his 2nd home run all season. Did toss an inning and 2/3 of scoreless baseball in Nashville, and Texas series clinching extra inning victory on Sunday last week against Vandy. There's strike 3 swinging. So he comes all the way back after falling behind 3-0, and he strikes out Garrick Fry to open the 6th.
You know, we talked to Luke Harrison about the freshman group and how impressed he's been with Sam Cozart. Here's another one that is very confident in Brett Crossland being able to come out here and deliver. You mentioned it, battle back from 3-0 to get out number 1.
The freshmen in the bullpen have been the backbone of the Texas bullpen. See what they've done compared to the other guys that have been around for a little while longer. Ace Reese out of his shoe tops as it comes up empty on a first pitch swing. Reese doubled in the first inning, struck out his last time. Takes the breaking ball for strike 2. So Crossland, who missed with his first 3 pitches, has pumped in 5 straight strikes now. 3 infielders to the right of second for Ace Reese, and Ethan Mendoza playing quite a ways into right field for the left-hand hitter. Rolled softly towards first and picked up in foul territory, says the home plate umpire, Travis Hager. I think Crossland was trying to pick it up before it went foul.
That's exactly what he was trying to do, and that was actually the smart play for him because the runner was in front of him and he saw that he might have had an opportunity to make this play. He got as close to that line as you could possibly be. That might be bang bang.
Tough to tell from that angle. It was certainly starting to work its way into foul territory, but it may have still been on that line when Crossland picked it up. Instead, more life for Ace Reese with the 0-2 count against the freshman right-hander from Phoenix. This is lifted in the air towards foul territory and back into the seats. This is probably a better angle.
I mean, it's still tough. And we got to go with what he said, but that is the closest you can be. And you were spot on when you said that he was going to try to make that play because the runner was right in front of him and he knew that he had a chance to get a quick out.
Trying to put away Ace Reese, one of the top hitters in the SEC. Swing and a miss. 97-mile-per-hour fastball for out number 2.
The confidence, the ability to throw a hard fastball in the SEC early in your career and knowing that you have the confidence to be able to blow it past somebody. This is one of the top hitters in the country, and he was able to get him out.
Noah Sullivan here with 2 outs. Brushed back by a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. One for 4 last night. Sullivan hitless in 2 at-bats against the starter Ruger Riojas today. Now facing Brett Crossland out of the Texas bullpen. And he missed inside again for ball 2. Two and one. Two and two on the designated hitter for the Bulldogs. Ben Davis throwing in the Mississippi State bullpen. We'll see if that's all for the starter Duke Stone. Davis, the senior right-hander. Swing and a miss. Crossland strikes out the side in the top of the 6th, and he does it against the top third of the Mississippi State lineup.
You got a good fastball, you let that thing ride, and that's exactly what he's been able to do. You look at the first one, he got a slider down, then he comes back against Ace Reese with a good fastball, and then he finishes it all off with Sullivan with another fastball.
All right, Duke Stone, 5 innings of 1-run baseball on the road against number 4 Texas today.
Outstanding work. Good life on his fastball, but it was that breaking ball that kept Texas off balance. One mistake pitch, and that was the end of that. But you got to be proud of what you've seen if you're Duke Stone and the Mississippi State pitching staff. Great work by that young man.
Duke Stone already underway with his post-start routine, and everything stretched out for a Saturday night on the town. Ben Davis takes over, 18th appearance for the senior right-hander. 42 strikeouts to just 7 walks in his 34 innings. Texas did knock him around a bit last year in Starkville. Longhorns tagged him for 3 earned runs in 2 2/3 innings. He'll face the middle of the Texas batting order here as the cleanup hitter Adrian Rodriguez leads off the home half of the 6th. Pair of fly ball outs for Rodriguez against the starter Stone. Ethan Mendoza, Temo Becerro to follow. The other way, and Bryce Chance makes the running catch for the first out. The ball started tailing away from the Mississippi State left fielder, but he still got there.
Yeah, you saw him trying to speed up a little bit as that ball was tailing away from him. Great job by that young man, because that's not an easy play, running away from it.
Davis pitched a couple of times against LSU last weekend. A scoreless outing in his most recent appearance. Gave up a run in 2 2/3 innings while striking out 5 in the first game he pitched against LSU that last weekend at home. Ethan Mendoza's 1 for 2. Hits in 7 straight for Mendoza. Led Texas in hits and batting average last year, and starting to look a lot like he did as a sophomore down the stretch of his junior campaign.
Held on to that just a little too much.
Ben Davis from Boonville in Mississippi, his second year at the program after 2 years in junior college. His brother Connor, also Division I baseball player at Eastern Kentucky. 2-2 here on Mendoza. He did not go. Full count.
Looked like Davis dropped down a little bit right there.
Changed the arm angle.
Yeah.
Saw Riojas do that a couple times today. Payoff pitch. Ball 4. To the backstop it goes. And Ethan Mendoza on base for a second time. Mendoza worked 3 walks on Tuesday against Sam Houston pitching. Draws the base on balls here, and it's a 1-out base runner for the third baseman, Temo Becerra, who's got a couple hits, including a bunt base hit his last time.
Yeah, he created some action as he was starting to move around a little bit. Stone hopped off the mound, and it was going to be tough at first, but he ended up overthrowing it, creating an error with runners on second and third, but was able to get out of the inning.
Out comes Brian O'Connor and the trainer to check on Davis, who has missed with the last few deliveries.
As we talked about, he dropped down on one of them, so that might not have been something that he's been used to. And then the next couple pitches have bounced before they got to home plate.
Some uncomfortable looking deliveries from the senior right-hander. Nobody's throwing in the Mississippi State bullpen, so if Davis has to leave this game, could be a while before we get back underway. Ben Davis is going to leave this game. A very important arm in the Mississippi State bullpen leaves with an apparent injury. 1-1 ball game here in the bottom of the 6th, as Ben Davis heads back to the dugout. All right, the SEC softball tournament gets underway Tuesday, 1 Eastern on SEC Network, live from Lexington. Coverage begins with SEC Now at 12:30. All games from the tournament available to stream on the ESPN app. Texas softball right across the street salvaged the series finale against Arkansas. A couple of top 10 showdowns here in Austin on the softball field and here at UFCU Disch-Falk Field. And on the 40 acres in the Lone Star State. Ben Davis, after a couple of uncomfortable looking deliveries, leaves the game with an injury, and Mississippi State has a left-hander throwing down there. Could be a while before he makes his way out to the mound. SEC standings. Georgia and Texas A&M atop the league. Texas with a win last night over Mississippi State, creating a little more separation between the 3 and 4 slots. Mississippi State will play Auburn next week in a series that could have some double bye complications, implications, should I say, for the conference tournament in Hoover. Oklahoma, Arkansas, Alabama, Ole Miss, Florida, all bunched together in the middle of the conference standings. And D1 baseball, in their latest projection, they had Vandy as the last team in. They had Kentucky among the first 4 out. Auburn has won today at A&M 18-5 after the originally scheduled series opener was washed away in College Station last night. Alabama has swept Vandy, which doesn't help the Commodores' postseason hopes. Kentucky with another win over Tennessee today. And Georgia 13-3 over Missouri, and Ole Miss leading Arkansas in Fayetteville 9-3. That game in the late innings. D1 baseball projecting 7 SEC teams as potential regional hosts, with another 4 right on the outside looking in as 2 seeds in the postseason.
Well, when you look at SEC baseball, you know it's a premier league. When you can have 7 teams with the possibility of being number 1 seeds and hosting those regionals, those are some of those things that you continue to look at. Then you talk about Vandy and what's going on with them and how they are still trying to find a way to get in there. And Arkansas, one of the premier teams in college baseball year in and year out, is still trying to figure out if they're going to get their way into this tournament as well.
D1 baseball has projected Texas to be the number 3 overall seed after the Longhorns were the 2 seed in the postseason last year. They'd be matched up with another SEC opponent in the Gainesville Regional. Of course, this is just a projection a month before the postseason begins, but it'd be interesting to have Arizona State come here. Willie Bloomquist and the Sun Devils are a top 20 team right now, and there's a couple former Arizona State players on this Texas roster: Ethan Mendoza, Thomas Burns.
2 guys that have been instrumental to helping University of Texas, especially that last year, to go into the SEC for the first year, win the conference regular season, and now still in this battle this year. Both guys are very, very major parts of the success of the University of Texas.
And the Baseball America preseason freshman of the year, Jack Bauer, has entered this game. He'll have as much time as he needs to get ready. Drew Frosch from Frankfort, Illinois, went viral when he threw the fastest recorded pitch in the history of high school baseball at 103 miles per hour.
Talk about letting it go. This is somebody that a lot of folks will be looking at over the next couple years before he is ready to get into the MLB draft. Turned down some opportunities to go play professional baseball, wanted to go to Mississippi State. Now he's getting his opportunity. This is impressive.
The number 1 ranked freshman in D1 baseball's top 100 incoming freshmen before the start of the year. Perfect game gave him that same number 1 overall ranking. See the numbers for Bauer with the earned run average north of 5, but he has figured some things out of late. 3 2/3 innings his last appearance against LSU, and struck out 8 hitters in that outing.
You start to think about it when a young man being able to come out and throw that hard, but now think about when he matures. Think about he's got some time in the D1 weight room, nutrition. He's going to be a special, special player sooner than later.
He was named after the former TV show 24 star Kiefer Sutherland, a character. And if the baseball thing doesn't work out for Jack Bauer, maybe he can go into television.
It's pretty cool that you can wear that number because of it as well. Good job, Jack Bauer. Good job, Mom and Dad.
Were you named after any famous Mikes?
That's a great question. I might need to check with that one.
Gotta ask the folks. All right, after a lengthy injury delay, Timo Becerra with a 1 ball, no strike count takes a fastball at 98 miles per hour off the inside from Jack Bauer. Ethan Mendoza at first. Yeah, you should do that.
Well, Mike, you know.
There's a called strike. Becerra through the right side, base hit. Mendoza will hold at second. And a couple men on here for Texas. Ashton Larson was scheduled, but it looks like Jaden Duplantier will pinch hit here for the Longhorns.
Timo Becerra, good piece of hitting right there. Shot the ball where the second baseman normally would be playing. Got a base hit. 3 for 3 on the day, and you're right. You get a chance to see Jaden Duplantier come up in this situation.
So it's Duplantier for Larson. Duplantier 8 for 20 with runners in scoring position this season. 7 hits and 29 at-bats against left-handers. 1 for 3 in his lone start last week in Nashville. And he skies the first one back to the screen. This is the designated hitter spot for Texas. Off-speed pitch, 0-2.
You know, in the back of your mind, he's got a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, so you try to gear up for it. Then he drops in that changeup with perfect timing right there. Good pitch sequence so far.
Jaden's older brother Andre finished up his college career last season, was a pitcher for Texas. Swing and miss. Tough to come off the bench and try and figure out Jack Bauer, who picks up his first strikeout.
That was another great breaking ball right there. Again, thinking about the fastball and throws a backdoor slider to you. Great pitch.
2 on, 2 out. This is what Casey Borba did his last time up. A solo home run to tie the game in the 5th inning. Show you that home run if we get some time here. 12th homer of the season for Borba, 2nd of the homestand. And matches his single season career high. Ball 2. Ben Davis left this game with an injury. He's responsible for Ethan Mendoza at second base. Jack Bauer's 2-0. Ball 3. Maddox Mansour due up next. It's a 4-pitch walk to load the bases.
Not ideal to load the bases with Maddox Mansour coming up to the plate. Made some tough pitches to Jaden Duplantier, but never found the strike zone with Casey Borba.
He's got to find the strike zone here. There's nowhere to put Maddox Mansour, who's 2 for 2 this year with the bases loaded. And Check swing foul ball to open this plate appearance. Couple strikeouts today for the true freshman center fielder. Had a base hit and a run scored last night. Big moment in this game. A top 10 showdown in Austin. Swinging a ground ball left side. Wires has it across in time. And Bauer leaves the bases loaded and keeps the game tied at 1 as we head into the late innings this afternoon in Austin. Jacob Parker due up second in the top of the 7th. Took Ruger Riojas the opposite way for a solo blast his last time in the 4th.
Good power, opposite field. They needed that to get their offense going, to get a little bit of a spark. And here we are now with a tie ball game because of that power that he's been able to display. Last weekend, you talked about the home runs that he was able to hit against LSU to keep this team, to get on that streak, a 9-game win streak. You know, he was a major part of it.
Second inning of work for Brett Crossland, who struck out the side in the 6th inning. Had to wait quite a while in between frames with the injury delay that took Ben Davis out of the game and forced Jack Bauer in the bottom of the 6th. Texas pitching with 10 strikeouts in this game. It's the 10th straight game they've recorded at least 10 strikeouts. They're 5th in the country in strikeouts per 9. Coming off that 19 strikeout performance yesterday. It's hit hard but foul. And it's 2-1 here on Beavis, the cleanup hitter. Seventh time this season, Brett Crossland has been asked to go more than 1 inning. Why not, after striking out the top 3 hitters in the order in his first frame? This one hits Beavis. And the Bulldogs have a base runner to open the 7th. So here's Parker. He's provided the only offense of the day for Mississippi State. Ground ball to second. Mendoza flips. Rodriguez the relay. They turn 2. 4-6-3.
What a great play by the middle of the infield. Ethan Mendoza and A-Rod were able to make that play and make it look easy.
Fourth time this year, Jacob Parker has hit into a double play. So 2 outs with the bases empty for Bryce Chance. The 81st double play turned by the Texas Longhorns this season. Chance went 0 for 2 against the starter Riojas in his 5 innings. 94-mile-per-hour fastball for strike 1. One and 2. Two balls and 2 strikes here on Bryce Chance. Brett Crossland looking for another scoreless frame out of the Texas bullpen. Only 3 hits on the day for the Bulldogs, who were held to 1 run on 6 hits last night. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a ground ball left side. It sneaks through. 2-out base hit for Bryce Chance. It'll give Aiden Teal a chance. 0 for 2 with a couple strikeouts today. Bryce Chance over there at first base has stolen 10 times this year. He's been caught stealing 3 times. Mississippi State has only attempted 1 stolen base this weekend, and Carson Tinney threw out Aiden Teal last night. A fastball for strike 1.
Brett Crossland with good life on that fastball. 95-mile-an-hour fastball that kind of tailed away from Teal at the plate. Chance with another great at bat, getting the base hit in the hole.
There goes Chance on a pitch fouled back to the screen.
Coach O'Connor's coming out because Teal, when he swung through, he thought there might have been catcher's interference on the swing right there. So they're going to challenge that because Teal immediately looked back as if something happened on that swing.
I had initially thought he was apologizing to Carson Tinney for maybe hitting him on the backswing.
Mississippi State is challenging the call of no catcher's interference.
Our crew does such a good job with these shots. We'll try and give you a good look to see if on the swing Aiden Teal made any contact with the catcher Carson Tinney. I think it was on the backswing. Maybe it caught a piece of the glove on the way through. Let's see.
I agree with you. It definitely seemed like it was on the backswing and not look. It does not look like he got any contact in that. But hey, who knows?
Kind of like the Anthony Peck non-hit by pitch last night.
As you slow it down, it looks as if it was as close as you could possibly be but I don't think it was anywhere near catcher's interference. As close as it was not catcher's interference, because I don't see any movement by Carson Tenney's glove to put himself out of there. And you have to have some great eyes to be able to say that that happened right away.
I want to correct something we had said earlier in the half inning. We said it was the 81st double play turned by Texas. If you do the math on that, those would be video game numbers. The 22nd turn by Texas. On the official stats page, it says 80, but they mean doubles, not double plays.
There you go.
Just in case anybody heard that absurd statistic at home and started looking through the numbers.
They're like, wow, this is a great defensive team.
It's like 3 a game.
After review, there is no catcher's interference. Mississippi State has 1 challenge remaining.
Well, base runners have not been easy to come by. It's hard to blame Brian O'Connor for taking the chance there.
No doubt. Trying to make something happen right away.
0-2 count on Aiden Teal. And that hits him. It's the second hit batsman of the inning to put a couple men on for Mississippi State.
Another breaking ball that kind of got away from him, and Teal didn't want to move at all either. So now we have runners on first and second in scoring position with 2 out. Big moment here, high leverage situation.
And out comes Jip Schlossnagle. He's going to make a change here. 3 of the 4 that have batted against Rhett Crossland in this 7th have reached base for Mississippi State. So Texas digging back into that bullpen in a tie game late. Thomas Burns summoned for a second straight game in this series. Only threw 8 pitches, 2/3 of an inning. Picked up a strikeout last night. And the junior from Hortonville, Wisconsin, inherits a couple of base runners and a tie ball game with 2 outs in the 7th today.
He did his duty last night to be a part of the 19 strikeouts last night. But as you can see, his last 6 appearances have been money for this young man. 2 strikeouts a game. An inning, which means it's important for him to get this final out and get Texas back into the dugout.
The second-year Longhorn spent his freshman year in Tempe with the Arizona State Sun Devils. Was Arizona State's opening day starter as a true freshman. First time that had happened in 2024 for that program since 2006. Been used exclusively as a reliever in 2 seasons here on the 40 acres, and will face the catcher Kevin Milewski with a couple men on base here for Mississippi State. Bulldogs have just 2 runs through the first 2 games of this series on a pair of solo home runs. 0 for 5 with runners on base today, 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. And this is a big spot for the backstop Milewski. He was teammates with the Texas right fielder Aidan Robbins the last 2 years at Seton Hall. Here's the first one from Burns. A breaking ball upstairs. Mississippi State bullpen is quiet. Looks like Jack Bauer will pitch the bottom of the 7th. Bulldogs trying to give him a lead. And there's a called strike. Fastball at 96 from Thomas Burns.
It's not only a fastball at 96, it's the location of that fastball. Down in the zone.
'98, right by Milewski for strike 2. "19 strikeouts for Texas pitching last night. They've got 10 today. And now an offensive conference. Time is called.
Looking heater. I'm looking straight fastball. I'm probably not going to be straight, but I'm looking fastball here in this at bat. I'm have to hit his best pitch.
In the air, down the right field side, and out of play. Milewski able to catch up to 98 there and foul it off. Trying to straighten out his swing. Had a double last night. Most of his hits this year have gone for extra bases. 18 hits on the season. 12 of them of the extra base variety. 2 on, 2 out. 1-1 ball game in this top 10 showdown from Austin, Texas. And another 1-2 coming from Burns to Milewski. Popped up. Foul territory. Carson Tinney tosses the mask and watches it land on the other side of the screen.
The bright sun is tough for the fans as well. They couldn't get out of the way of it. Now, if you get in the mind of the hitter, he's talking to himself and he's saying, all right, he's giving me 2 fastballs here. Fouled them both off. I still got to keep fastball in the front of my mind. But will he throw me the off-speed pitch?
Well, here comes Max Weiner out of the Texas dugout. Second-year pitching coach. Wanting to talk a little strategy here with Burns in front of Milewski and the possible go-ahead run at second base. Texas pitching has been very tough on these Bulldog hitters this weekend.
Big time. Big time. You start to look at it and you think to yourself, okay, I'm going into Texas as a hitter. I know that these guys are going to be tough. But as Coach O'Connor said, I got to make sure I stay within myself and in the zone. And they just find a way to bring it out of you every time.
Line drive into left field, base hit. Mississippi State takes the lead in the 7th. Kevin Milewski comes through for the Bulldogs.
Got himself a fastball. That's his best pitch. Got it down in the zone and laced it in the left center field for an RBI single and to take the lead 2-1. Great swing right there. Great contact. Head down. Textbook.
Just his 7th single all season. And he did straighten out his swing. Scoring Bryce Chance from second base. And the run charge to Crossland. It was a strike away from getting out of this inning before he hit Aiden Teal.
That base hit to left was 109 off the bat.
And Burns generated most of that.
Exactly.
Here's Drew Wires. 1 for 2 with the single back in the third. Important for Thomas Burns to keep this at a 1-run game with all the talent Mississippi State has at the back end of its bullpen.
And then Texas flips to the top of their lineup coming up.
On 1-1 to the senior shortstop. He swings deep to left field. Anthony Pack onto the warning track at the wall. Goodbye! A 3-run blast for Wires. And it's 5-1 Hail State.
You talk about making a change in the lineup. They did the right thing. Wires comes up, gets a fastball down. As you mentioned, Burns generates a lot of the power, but that ball was struck well to left field. Boom. Hail State gets a fastball down in the zone, and he did not miss it. What a swing by this young man, Drew Wire, to now extend the lead. 4-run inning, 5-1 for Hail State.
We had just shown you how tough of a weekend it had been for this Mississippi State offense. And it's the 8-9 hitters in the order that knock in 4 runs against Thomas Burns.
I think we'll see Wires in that lineup tomorrow as well.
His 3rd home run as a Bulldog. He was one of the top shortstops in the country at Bryant last year. And given an opportunity today, his 16th start after Ryder Woodson struck out 3 times starting at shortstop last night. And that's why it pays to be old in college baseball. You get a lot of experience, guys that aren't afraid of the big moments. And Maluski and Wires with back-to-back hits. And it's a 4-run cushion all of a sudden for Mississippi State with 9 outs to get here in Austin.
We'll have to call that seasoned. Seasoned. Wow.
It has taken all the air out of this building. Garrick Fry 0 for 3 in the game. Just got a piece of that one.
Got Carson Tenney too. Looked like it was right on the top of his shoulder.
Tenney's getting beat up in this half inning. Took the backswing from Aiden Teal. Another 0-2 pitch. Upstairs. A bouncer back to Burns. He knocks it down and in time to get Garrick Fry for out number 3. For Mississippi State, they send up 7 in the top of the 7th, and they strike for 4 runs, highlighted by the 3-run blast off the bat of Drew Wires.
Drew Wires said, anything you can do, I can do better, and that's exactly what he was able to do. Just over the wall in left field. They've got him up 5-1, headed to the bottom of the 7th.
Seventh inning stretch has come and gone in Austin, and Mississippi State with 4 runs in the top half of the inning. They've taken a 5-1 lead. All 4 runs across with 2 outs, courtesy of the 8-9 hitters in the batting order. On a weekend where runs have not been easy to come by against 2 of the top pitching staffs in the country, Mississippi State has the biggest inning of this series. And now the top third of the Texas batting order will try and answer back against the highly touted true freshman Jack Bauer, who left the bases loaded in the 6th inning. Aiden Robbins has been on base 3 times in this game, including a double in the 5th against the starter Duke Stone. And he waves through the 0-1. It's 0-2.
14-mile-per-hour differential right there, going from 98 to 84. Nasty.
Almost hits Robbins, who's already been plunked once in this game. There's a couple of hit batsmen in that top of the 7th inning that opened the door for Mississippi State to have the big frame. Bulldogs have launched 3 homers in this series. There's a bouncer to second. Garrick Fry with a high throw, and it sails above Blake Beavis at first. The 3rd Bulldog error of the afternoon, and what appeared to be a routine play for the 5th-year senior second baseman.
It looked like he kind of set himself a little bit to try to get the motion going to first base and dropped his elbow, and the ball just kind of sailed on him as he was making the play. He gets there in perfect time, comes up, then drops the elbow and flips it over and almost hit our cameraman. Watch out!
Leadoff base runner, here's Carson Tinney. Longhorns erased a 6-run deficit to open this homestand against Sam Houston on Tuesday. They have 10 come-from behind victories this year. Now, this is a tall task late in the game, chasing 4 runs against this talented Mississippi State bullpen. Ball 2 to Tinney. He's trying to extend his on-base streak to 22 games. He's gone hitless in 3 at-bats this afternoon. Two and 1. Ball 3. Jack Bauer has been much better with his command after walking 4 in his first 2 college outings back in mid-February. Carson Tinney on the ground to 3rd. Reese to 2nd for 1. On to 1st and off the bag. Another wide throw from Garrick Fry, and Tinney reaches on the fielder's choice.
You mentioned that, hard hit ground ball to 3rd base, strong throw to 2nd, and here he goes again. He dropped his elbow once again, trying to make that throw to first base.
Mississippi State is challenging the safe call at first base.
Ryan O'Connor lost 1 challenge in the top half of the 7th.
Is challenging the safe call at first base.
With the 8th inning looming, they'll challenge the safe call at first.
I don't think it was even close. The one thing that I would have probably challenged was the slide into second base to even see what happens there. I don't believe his foot is on the bag at all. And it looks like Tinney is going to be called safe. Yeah. That's the tough angle to see if his foot even held the bag, because there was no reaction as if he did or not.
Ball would need to be in the back of the glove, the webbing of the glove, with some part of Blake Beavis' body still on first base, and that didn't appear to be the case there as he tried to stretch for the throw from Gehrig Fry. Here's a good angle. So in the glove, and that foot appears to be off the bag. And what's working in Texas' favor here is the call on the field is safe. And so it's on the bag there. You see the baseball making its way towards the glove, and then it detaches from the base as the ball gets into the webbing. And there you see a little bit of separation between the right cleat of Blake Beavis and the first base bag. Don't imagine this will be reviewed much longer. Then it'll give Anthony Peck Jr. an opportunity with 1 on, 1 out.
After review, the field is safe. Mississippi State has no challenges remaining.
Upheld as expected. That will not count towards the Carson Tinney on base streak. He's 0 for 4 in this game. Anthony Peck Jr. 0 for 3. 17-game hitting streak, 22-game on base streak for the Texas true freshman. This will be a fun matchup to follow for the coming seasons. Bauer against Peck. One of the best freshman arms in the SEC against one of the best freshman bats. And it's ball 2 to Anthony Peck Jr. 3 groundouts for Anthony Peck Jr. against Duke Stone, the starter. He pitched 5 innings of 1-run baseball. And it's ball 3.
You talked about it. The ground balls, they were hard hit ground balls just at him. Sometimes it's just bees that way, as they like to say sometimes.
There's a strike. A little get me over 96-mile-per-hour fastball.
I like that, a little get me over.
Took a little bit off of it. You see the shadows starting to creep over the home plate area just after 5 o'clock local time here. And it's a full count now on Anthony Peck Jr. 4 runs in the top half of the inning. Mississippi State breaking through after struggling for the first game and a half here in Austin against Texas pitching. Longhorns took the opener 3-1 last night. Bulldogs lead game 2 of the series 5-1 in the 7th today. On a full count delivery to Anthony Peck Jr., it's off the outside. So he's on base for a 23rd consecutive game. And some traffic here with 1 out for Texas.
Another good at bat. I like the fact of what you mentioned. These 2 guys are going to be battling each other the next couple of years. Both of them have done outstanding work this season. Another quality at bat to extend it to 23 games. Interesting.
Adrian Rodriguez, who's normally a switch hitter, is electing to bat left-handed against the hard-throwing southpaw Jack Bauer. 3 fly ball outs today for the Texas cleanup hitter. He went deep last weekend in Nashville for his first home run of the year. I wonder if it's just the matchup or discomfort as he comes back from a hand injury that's been bothering him since last year. He has just hit 140 this season as a right-hand hitter compared to 312 from the other side. Able to lay off that big breaking ball from Bauer. It's 2-2. An error and a walk have put a couple men on for Texas, trailing by 4 runs in the last half of the 7th at home. On 2-2. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Bauer. 2 down in the 7th.
Bauer with electric stuff is able to get Adrian Rodriguez with a 2-seam fastball, and you can see him wince. So there might be some irritation with that wrist again as he swung through that pitch, and you can see how his hand kind of let go of the bat on his follow through.
Ethan Mendoza bats with 2 outs. Been on base twice in this game with a single and a walk. Mendoza 275 this year against southpaws. Not much of a difference from what he's done against right-handed pitching. 273 at the start of the day. Takes a firm fastball at 98 for strike 1.
It's one of the fastballs you got to be looking for right there, especially in this situation.
Texas is 0 for 7 today with runners in scoring position. Fouled away. It's 1-2.
Left 8 on the bags as of today.
Left the bases loaded in the 6th. Close miss, full count. Runners will be on the move with 2 outs in the inning. Temo Becerra's 3 for 3 with a base hit against Jack Bauer. Waits on deck. Texas hoping he has an opportunity in this last half of the 7th. On 3-2. It's low. Mendoza walks for a second time. And Texas will bring up the possible tying run. Justin Parker, the pitching coach, with a right-hander throwing in the Mississippi State bullpen, is on his way out. Temo Becerra, 2 for 7 this year with the bases loaded. Second straight inning that Texas has had the sacks full against Jack Bauer.
Temo Becerra with 3 singles in the ball game. This is one of those opportunities that he's got to stay within himself, not try to do too much. I know we get excited with the bases loaded and we really want to try to generate some power, but as you mentioned with Burns generating some of that power, I think the same can be said right here for what Jack Bauers has been able to throw today during the ball game.
Temo Becerra, 5 homers in 158 at-bats, has seen an uptick in power coming from Palo Alto. He singled through the right side against Bauer last inning and takes the first one low and outside here. Couple of laborious frames for the true freshman southpaw on an afternoon where Texas has left 8 men on base through 6. That's a number they don't want to add to. Outside edge, it's 1-1. 97 on the fastball. Becerra with 3 hits today, has done that for a 3rd time this season. 3 singles for the 5th year. And he takes low and in, ball 2. 2-2.
Good pitch, good location. Got to be able to see that one right there, staying on it.
The 2-2. Swinging a slow bouncer. Wires waits for it. The flip to second just in time to get Mendoza. And for a second straight inning, Jack Bauer leaves the bases loaded, although Jim Schlossnagle, why not? Just shy of the 8th inning, will challenge the out call.
Is challenging the out call at second base.
If he's able to beat this out, that goes to show you what the hustle play looks like in that situation. Great hands right there by Wires to be able to get the ball there, but that is going to be as close as you can be.
The runner is out.
Wow, very quick review. We're headed to the 8th inning. Fielder's choice gets Jack Bauer out of trouble.
Best conference tournament in all of college baseball.
Run straight for the breakaway.
Let's get to Hoover.
"17 days from now, the SEC tournament commences in Hoover, Alabama. If the season were to end today, Mississippi State and Texas would be given double byes into the quarterfinal round of the conference tournament. 23 days till Selection Sunday. 22 days, if my math is correct. Tomorrow's Sunday, right? Jason Flores takes over for Texas, sophomore right-hander from Wiley.
This is a right-hander that a lot of people expected a bunch from this year. Just still trying to work his way through it. He has been able to hit 100 miles per hour, but it's something that he needs to be more consistent with his delivery and his approach at the plate and being able to throw a bunch of strikes.
Flores will try and keep this at a 4-run deficit. Mississippi State, when leading after 7 innings this year, they're 24-1. With that lone loss coming on March 1st against number 1 UCLA. And the Bruins down in the 9th inning when they came back to tie it in Arlington, and UCLA would go on to win 8-7 and 10. Bruins, after winning in East Lansing last night, are now 22-0 in the Big Ten, although they've stubbed their toe a handful of times outside of conference play. Sac State got them once last weekend. Also lost midweek games to San Diego State and UC Santa Barbara, as well as the opening Sunday of the year against UC San Diego.
Those midweeks are not fun for anyone across the country.
2-1 here on Ace Reese, who's 1 for 3 with the double. And takes the fastball outside. And Sullivan, Blake Beavis to follow as Mississippi State tries to add on. Up 4 runs in the top of the 8th. Ball 4. Ace Reese walks to open the 8th. Yesterday, Mississippi State held to a run on 6 hits. 6 hits in this game, but they've produced 5 runs. Drew Wires a 3-run blast to give Mississippi State some insurance in the top of the 7th. Noah Sullivan takes ball 1.
Sullivan looking like he was waiting on a certain pitch, got it, and ended up fouling it off of his foot. Got a ball on the inner third of the plate. Most of the time, you can try to jump on something like that, especially when you know he's got to come to you.
Sullivan skies it to left field. Anthony Pack Jr. is there. And the 1 down in the 8th.
Sullivan knew he just missed that one.
Just got under it. And a pitch that was above the belt. 1 on 1 out. Blake Beavis coming up. Hit by a pitch his last time. 0 for 2 on the day. Now, how tough is it with these shadows starting to creep over the home plate area while the mound is still in the sunshine? How much tougher is it to pick up the baseball?
I think it's better because you still can pick up the ball out of his hand.
Well, Blake Beavis agrees with you. Hot shot into left field to put a couple men on for Mississippi State.
You can pick up that rotation right away, and that release point, and you stay locked into there, you'll still be able to see it.
Jim Schlossnagle making his way out. It looks like that'll be all for Jason Flores. Another pitching change for Texas as they try and stay within striking distance. 4-run lead for Mississippi State, trying to add on in the top of the 8th. Brody Walls, another freshman, comes out of the Texas bullpen. 6-foot Frosh from McKinney. Struggled in the opener of the homestand against Sam Houston on Tuesday. Gave up 3 hits, 2 earned runs in an inning and a third. Walls inheriting a couple of base runners with 1 out in the top of the 8th. Got a 4-pitch mix, fastball, cutter slider hybrid, and a changeup. That's a good I would say impersonation of a rally cap.
Or that sun is beating down on me and I'm trying to block it any way that I possibly can.
See if we can get a runner to get that man some sunscreen. Jacob Parker opened the scoring in this game with an opposite field solo shot in the fourth.
When you talk about power and being able to hit it off of the back of the left field bullpen, opposite field, you know that young man has got some strength. Big at bat for him this past weekend.
To the top freshman in the conference, squaring off this weekend in Austin. Anthony Pack Jr. leads the SEC in batting average against conference pitching. Swing and a miss at the changeup.
Scouting report must have told him be ready for the fastball, so he was geared up for that.
Brody Wallace pulled the string on Jacob Parker, and somehow that didn't hit him. To the backstop it goes to advance the base runners. And Texas will be forced to bring the infield in. Fastball in tight, 94 miles per hour from Brody Walls. Mississippi State 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position today. Both of those hits led to the 4 runs in the top of the 7th. Off the outside, it's ball 3.
Don't want to make a mistake here. You're going to end up pitching around him. Don't make it even close, because in this situation he's going to look for something he can drive to try to get these runs in.
He swings, hit hard. Borba knocks it down, and his only play in front of him. That hesitation costed him a chance to toss it to the plate. As Ace Reese comes across, an RBI ground out for Jacob Parker, and it's 6-1.
Everything worked the way you wanted it to, except for getting the out at home plate. You had the infield in, hard shot. He looks up to try to make a play and ends up not getting him out, but he did get him out at first base.
Second run that Jacob Parker's knocked in today. And to third base goes Beavis for Bryce Chance with 2 outs. Hit hard and past the diving Temo Becerra. Into the corner it goes. The second hit today for Bryce Chance is a run-scoring double in the 8th. And Mississippi State has created a 6-run deficit for Texas here in Game 2.
You talk about it. You got to be able to get up there and be aggressive, and that's exactly what he did. A ball that was hanging in the strike zone, and Chance, who's had great at-bats all weekend long, got something he can handle and was able to slash it down the third base line to drive in the run.
More 2-out magic for the Mississippi State bats in this game. Look back at Aiden Teal's last plate appearance, and it's what's led to the unraveling of the Texas bullpen. 2 outs in the inning. He was down 0-2, and then he was hit by a pitch. Texas made the change, went to Thomas Burns, and the next 2 guys followed with an RBI single and a 3-run homer. When you go up against a top 10 team like this, the margin for error is razor thin. Texas has only lost 3 times all year here at home, but they find themselves down 6 runs with 6 outs to play with. 2-1 to Teal, and it's ball 3. Mississippi State is 2 runs through the first 15 innings of this series, and 6 in the last 2 frames. Full count on Teal.
We talked about it, being able to bounce back. The game was going back and forth with each other, and then boom, all of a sudden Mississippi State gets a couple guys on. Then you get the big blow with the home run and came right back to it. It was a tough outing in the very beginning, but they kept true to their approach and was able to make everything happen.
Teal into shallow left. On comes Pack to make the running catch for out number 3. 2 more across for Mississippi State. It's a 6-run game to the bottom of the 8th in Austin. Big series in Austin this weekend. Casey Borba tagged a big fly for the lone Texas run today. Jacob Parker had one for Mississippi State. It opened the scoring in the 4th inning. And the big blast delivered by the senior Drew Wires, who didn't play in the opener last night, but making an impact today. A big 3-run blast off Thomas Burns to give Mississippi State a 5-1 lead in the 7th. Bulldogs added 2 in the top of the 8th. It's now 7-1. We told you last night, something's got to give this weekend. The elite pitching of Texas, the big bats of Mississippi State.
It has been a interesting, to say the least, series so far. You got a chance to see exactly what Mississippi State's bats are capable of doing today.
Presley Corville pinch hitting in the designated hitter spot. We've seen Ashton Larson and Jaden Duplantier bat out of the 7th spot in the order for Texas today. Corville 3 for 6 this year as a pinch hitter. As Jack Bauer continues on for Mississippi State, he's thrown an inning and 2/3, only 1 hit allowed, has walked 3 batters, but last couple of innings he's left the bases loaded. And he makes very quick work of Corville. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. 1 down in the 8th.
We talked about Jack Bauer coming into the weekend and hopefully getting a chance to see him in a high-pressure situation. He's done exactly that. Had some moments where it got a little sketchy for him, but when you can throw that hard and can deceive people with the off-speed pitch, this has been very impressive to watch from this young man.
1 gone for Casey Borba. Showed you his 5th inning home run. It's been the only offense of the day for Texas. And look at the official line for Bauer through 2 frames out of the bullpen. Be the pitcher of record if Mississippi State can hold on. It would be his 4th victory of his freshman season. And it would be wins in back-to-back appearances. Picked up the win Last time he pitched against LSU at home last weekend. Ball 3 to Casey Borba. Right-hander continues to throw in the Hail State bullpen. Bauer hasn't walked more than 3 batters in a game since his college debut against the Troy Trojans back on February 17th. And Borba jammed. Slow roller to third. Reese charges and throws him out at first base. Came in on the hands of Casey Borba, and a nice play made by Reese. 2 down.
You see why pro people are here to try to check this young man out. Tough play coming on the run. The transfer was quick and the throw was strong. What a great play by Reese over at third base.
2 gone for Maddox Mansour. His last time up, they had the bases loaded, 2 outs, and grounded out to end the 6th against Jack Bauer. No relation to the former UCLA Golden Spikes Award winner and big leaguer Trevor Bauer, who just threw a no-hitter in independent ball last week. He's with the Long Island Ducks now.
Making his way back. Had to go overseas for a little bit. Now he's getting a chance not only to be a viral sensation by giving people an opportunity, and for him to go out and throw a no-hitter, that's impressive.
The way former big leaguers have played for the Long Island Ducks, it's like the old Sugarland Skeeters back in the day.
Exactly.
Roger Clemens suited up for them on his way back to the big leagues. Of course, that became the AAA affiliate of the Astros, and the Space Cowboys now?
The Space Cowboys, that's exactly right.
I think that's a better team name than the Skeeters.
After those mosquitoes down there in the Gulf.
A full count pitch, and Mansour fouls it back. Jack Bauer, with an earned run average north of 22 his first 3 appearances, has settled in nicely. Sub-2 earned run average in the last 14 innings he's pitched. Trying to keep it rolling today. Nearing 60 pitches out of the bullpen. 8 walks, Maddox Mansour. 2-out base runner for Texas, back to the top of the lineup. Brian O'Connor with Jack Bauer a pitch shy of 60. Season high 62 pitches his last time. Looks like he'll make a change. It is a season high 4 walks for Bauer, although you could argue he's been effectively wild in this outing.
That's exactly a great way to describe it. He has been put in some situations, but he's found a way to get out of it. You see it, he only gave up 1 hit and no runs. Great to see the young man. This is something we wanted to see, and he got a chance to go out there and perform.
8th inning pitching change for the Bulldogs with a 6-run lead. Number 25, Florida. Number 15, Oklahoma play the middle game of a 3-game set tonight in Norman. We'll have it for you right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. The game will start about 20 minutes from now as we play down the stretch here in Austin. Texas took the opener 3-1 last night. It's been all Mississippi State in the late innings today. Maddox Miller pitched last night. It's Maddox Webb today, the junior from Summerville, South Carolina, first-year Bulldog by way of the Citadel, where he was first-team All-SoCon last year. He just had Maddox Mansour walk. Might we set a Guinness World Record for the most Maddoxes in a ballpark in college baseball history. Who knows? Jack Bauer responsible for Maddox Mansour at first base. But despite the 4 walks, he delivered exactly what the Bulldogs needed out of the bullpen, especially after the Ben Davis injury.
That's the other part that we haven't had a chance to touch on. Him being able to get ready in the bullpen and then come out, take his time, but then he was able to come out here and handle every situation he was put in.
You just get the sense watching this guy that he's barely scratching at the surface of what he might become in his time at Mississippi State.
Couldn't agree with you more.
It's ball 1 to Aiden Robbins. Been on base 4 times. A walk, a hit by pitch, a double, and last time he reached on an error. Seven straight scoreless appearances for Maddox Webb, who has 3 saves this year. He picked up 1, pitched in all 3 games of that weekend series at home against LSU last weekend. Did not allow a run. Outside for ball 3. And Carson Tinney, and all that power on deck for Texas.
So Maddox Webb asked if those pitches were outside to the home plate umpire.
Robbins walks for a second time. He's been a frequent on base today for Texas. And 2 men on with 2 out for Carson Tinney. Another chance for the Longhorns, who are 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position, and they've left 11 men through the first 7 innings today.
Situationally, they haven't been able to get through without leaving people on base. Carson Tinney with a lot of power in this lineup, but they need runners now, base runners.
Probably Carson Tinney's last chance to stretch his on-base streak. It sits at 21 games. Just 6 hits on the afternoon for Texas. They have drawn 7 walks, and there's ball 2 to Tinney. On the fastball from Webb. Tinney's been a tough out during the on-base streak. OPS near 1,400. Had him flinching on a called strike.
Backed up on him a little bit. Good pitch by Maddox Webb. Must have been looking out over the plate, and the ball ran back on him.
Full count on Carson Tinney. Anthony Pack Jr. is on deck. Mansour and Robbins will get a head start on 3-2. And it's ball 4 to Tinney. On base streak up to 22 games. And the base is loaded for a third straight inning for Texas. Couldn't capitalize the last two. Anthony Pack Jr. is 7 for 9 this year with the bases full of Longhorns. Now comes Justin Parker, the pitching coach. 3 straight 2-out walks have opened the door for the Longhorns a little bit here.
Well, you talk about what happened for Mississippi State with the hit batters and getting a chance to extend some innings. We also brought up the fact that Anthony Pack Jr., who is leading the SEC conference in hitting during his time here, now is put in another position with the bases loaded. You gave the numbers, but this is another opportunity for a quality at bat for this young man.
Pack worked to walk his last time. His on-base streak is up to 23 games, but he's got a hitting streak in jeopardy. 17 straight games with a hit for a young man that leads the conference in batting average against SEC pitching. Called strike. Oh, 2. During the 17-game hitting streak, Anthony Pack Jr. flirting with a .500 batting average. A lot of doubles this year, tied for third in the conference in that category. As he sends this one the opposite way, but it hangs up for Bryce Chance, and for a third straight inning, Texas leaves the bases loaded, and they do not score. That's 14 left on base through 8. And Mississippi State up comfortably. Top of the 9th inning in Austin, and should this score hold, Mississippi State would have a chance to climb in the standings. Auburn and Texas A&M playing a doubleheader today in College Station. Auburn took the first game convincingly, scored 18 runs against the Aggies. Game 2 will get underway shortly. Georgia in sole possession of the top spot in the SEC. The 5th-ranked Bulldogs at 16-6. The Savannah Bananas are also playing in College Station. They're playing at Kyle Field.
Savannah Bananas.
I'd imagine that'll take away from some of the crowd for the baseball game between Auburn and A&M. Here in the 9th inning, Mississippi State broke a 1-1 tie with 4 runs in the 7th, got 2 more in the 8th. They have had their way with the Texas bullpen after being held to just 1 run and striking out 19 times yesterday. Quite a bounce back for Brian O'Connor's squad. Kevin Milewski broke the 1-1 tie with an RBI single in the 7th before Drew Wires hit the 3-run home run to create some separation. And 2 on Milewski, who had a healthy hack at the 1-1.
Yeah, he saw it up and saw it hanging, and he tried to bang it right there.
We are moments away from the 152nd Kentucky Derby as Milewski takes strike 3. Is it all or nothing's your guy?
No. Further ado.
Further ado.
Further ado.
All or nothing would be a good horse name.
That would be great.
Mississippi State, should they win, it'd be their first one in Austin since 1983. And Texas, if they can come on back from a 6-run deficit here, they've notched their 15th SEC Series win since joining the conference, but chances are they'll have to wait until tomorrow. Drew Wires, another deep fly ball. The ballpark will hold it this time as Maddox Mansour makes the catch.
The one thing we definitely can say about Drew Wires is he's definitely seeing the baseball. He's got 2 healthy hacks. He's got the home run, he's got a base hit, and that one right there, he just got underneath. Good swings by that young man.
So Renegade is the favorite in the Derby, 5-1 with Rod Ortiz Jr., the jockey. As Garrick Fry sends a bouncing ball that Ethan Mendoza has trouble with, and gives Mississippi State a 2-out base runner in the 9th. See how that scored. It was a tough play for Mendoza, who will be charged with an error.
It's going to be a tough play ranging to his left, but that's a play that a lot of folks have seen Ethan Mendoza make, and if you asked him, he would tell you that he should have made that play as well.
Further Ado has 7-1 odds to win the Derby. Some other fun names: Emerging Market, So Happy, Litmus Test.
Looked like a lot of folks were so happy. They were looking at him.
This is Ace Reese. Batted with the shades his first 4 times up there, but with the batting area engulfed in shadows. Not batting with the sunglasses this time. Been on base a couple times on the afternoon.
Good looking prospect over at third. We got a chance to see a little bit of sock that he has, hitting the ball in the right center field.
Reese, the only player in the SEC with 15 homers and more than 15 doubles, leads the conference with 19.
Former Texas Longhorn,
yeah.
Kennedy.
Oh, what a year he's having in Manhattan. Landon Hairston might be the favorite for Big 12 Player of the Year. Ace Reese strikes out for a 3rd time, and it's a scoreless 9th. Last chance for Texas. Home half of the inning on the other side. Moments away from the Kentucky Derby. Last half of the 9th inning, 7-1 in this top 10 showdown. Texas took the opener. Mississippi State on the cusp of evening this 3-game series, which would set up the rubber match tomorrow afternoon on ESPN. Drew Wires had a big hit in this game, 3-run homer to create some separation, give the bullpen for the Bulldogs some breathing room back in the 7th. And it's the middle of the Texas batting order scheduled for the bottom half of the 9th. Adrian Rodriguez takes a called strike from Maddox Webb, who came on and got the final out of the 8th inning. Opportunities were there for Texas despite allowing 7 runs. A lot of traffic all afternoon for the Longhorns, but they're 0 for 9 as a team with runners in scoring position. And they've left 14 on base. This is deep to left center field off the bat of Rodriguez, and it's gonna fly. That's a home run. It's 7-2 on the second Texas solo shot of the day.
We talked about it last at bat. Adrian Rodriguez looked like he winced on the swing before, but he got an elevated pitch, and you can still see it in his face. Like, he may not have felt awesome at the plate, but that ball went out to left center field, to one of the deepest parts of this ballpark. You can see right here the pitch is elevated in the strike zone, and he did not miss it. Good power.
411 feet off the bat of Rodriguez. And home runs in back-to-back weekends for the Texas shortstop. Even if Texas doesn't come all the way back in this game, that's a nice silver lining to have Rodriguez take a swing like that, because you're right, after that strikeout he had his last time in the 7th, we weren't sure if he was going to stay in the game with how uncomfortable he looked.
Yeah, that was good for him and probably great for his confidence.
Ethan Mendoza down to a knee as he comes up empty on strike 2 against Maddox Webb. A couple solo shots have accounted for the Texas scoring in this game. Longhorns would have liked to see some of those swings with men on base.
As you mentioned, a lot of guys that were left on base all afternoon, and I'm sure that'll be something that Coach Schlossnagle and Coach Tulowitzki talk about, situational baseball.
Another foul ball off the bat of Ethan Mendoza. Mendoza on base 3 times today, a couple of walks and a base hit. 7-game hitting streak for the junior from Bedford. Close miss off the outside, 2-2.
Just missed.
Full count. Temo Becerra on deck. He's had a 3-hit day. Mendoza to left, and Chance squeezes the first out of the 9th.
Good battle between Webb and Mendoza. Did you figure out who you're going to go with in the Derby?
Well, I'm not going to put any currency behind it, but why not So Happy?
So Happy. That seems to be what a lot of people.
Hey, 6 to 1 odds. I like the name. You can't think too much about these things. You just kind of have to go with your gut.
Without further ado, you know what I'm saying? That's what I decided to do.
It's Temo Becerra. Couple of Southpaws square off in the finale of the series tomorrow. It's Charlie Foster for Mississippi State, Luke Harrison for Texas. It'll be a nationally televised game with Carl Ravitch and Kyle Peterson at 1 p.m. on ESPN. Back up the middle, it kicks off the mound and under the glove of Garrick Fry. It's a 4-hit day for Temo Becerra. His second of the season.
Might have got him on his heel. They're bringing out the trainer to check on him. Temo Becerra swinging the bat well today. Hit a rocket off the back of his heel in the center field.
I thought that kicked off the mound, but you're right. It did kick off the back heel of Maddox Webb. He was in some pain, understandably so. Ball that left Becerra's bat at 104 miles per hour.
Wow.
Mississippi State's already lost one reliever to injury in this game. Dane Burns is throwing in the bullpen, and Maddox Webb will get a couple tosses here to see if he can continue. Well, with the Kentucky Derby about to start, it brings me to the question of what is your bucket list sporting event that you haven't been to, Hardball?
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty easy to think about. Obviously, Kentucky Derby is something that a lot of folks love to go to, but mine would absolutely be the Super Bowl. So corporate, though, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's not a bad pick. I don't disagree.
How about yourself?
Super Bowl would be tough to beat. I'd like to be at a Game 7 of the World Series.
That's beautiful.
It's Josh Livingston pinch hitting. Fourth different Longhorn that's batted in the designated hitter spot today. There's a chance to go to a World Cup game this summer.
Absolutely.
The Olympics are coming to LA in 28. I think those would top a lot of people's sports bucket lists. I wouldn't mind an afternoon, evening in Churchill Downs.
Got to be able to remember it, though.
Got to be able to dress the part.
For sure.
Like I'd need to walk around with a cane for style and see a lot of the fans locked into the Kentucky Derby on their phones. Ball and 2 strikes on Livingston. Max Kelton, who's helping us out this weekend, says his bucket list event would be the Masters. That's a good one.
Concur.
Livingston, the graduate transfer from Wichita State. Fouls another one back. Livingston launched a 3-run homer in Nashville against Vandy last weekend. A big year with the Shockers in 2025. 15 homers, 48 RBIs. Another 2-strike pitch from Webb. Almost hit him. 2-2. Full count.
I wonder if he still has some discomfort on the mound.
Upstairs, it's ball 4. Three of 4 have reached here against Maddox Webb. It's the first free pass he's issued. He's also allowed a home run and a single in the inning. And here comes Casey Borba, who launched a solo home run back in the 5th. And out comes Brian O'Connor. Looks like he'll make a change here. And he signals down to the bullpen. Well, Texas trying to make things interesting. They're down to their final 2 outs with a couple base runners trailing 7-2 at home in the middle game of this series. Dane Burns, the southpaw from north of the border, takes over for Mississippi State. 6'5" left-hander. 23rd appearance this season. He has been lights out. Burns, who went to high school here in Texas, a graduate of Prosper. Casey Borba due up. Longhorns would like another long ball from their starting first baseman in this spot.
Yeah, exciting moment for Casey Borba. And right now with some runners in scoring position to kind of prolong this game. If you look at the exit velo, the last 2 home runs in the last 3 games has been important for his growth. And of course, we talked about it. He's somebody that Texas is going to need if they plan on making a run at the title in the SEC.
A lot of eyes on phones here at the dish as Borba gets ready to step in. 3/4 of the mile. Dan Bourbon, a 12-1 favorite in first. So happy in further ado, right on his tail. They're coming down the final stretch at Churchill Downs.
You hear people screaming in the stands.
wiped away the leaderboard. We don't know who's up right now. Here they go to the finish line. Wow, a photo finish. Churchill Downs. I think Emerging Market won it. Or is that Golden Tempo? I think that's Golden Tempo, who was a 36-1 favorite.
Wow.
Golden Tempo is your unofficial winner in the 152nd Kentucky Derby. And I'd be jumping for joy as well if you just put $5 on that. That's a nice payday. All right, back to business here in the SEC. On 2-0 to Casey Borba, it's ball 3. A couple more base runners here, and things could get really interesting.
Quickly.
The first female trainer to win in the long history of the Kentucky Derby they just showed. Very cool stuff as Casey Borba takes a called strike.
Golden Tempo.
The most exciting 2 minutes of the year in the Bluegrass State. Other than the SEC softball tournament, which is in Lexington this year. There's ball 4. And for a 4th consecutive inning, Texas has loaded the bases. Couldn't do anything the last few frames. This time they've loaded the bases with 1 out. Can Texas come all the way back here? They need Mansour to reach to have Aiden Robbins, their home run leader, represent the possible tying run. And that would be a nightmare scenario for Brian O'Connor and Mississippi State. Ball 1 to Mansour. Well, the command has not been sharp for Bulldog pitching. They've walked 10 hitters in this game. Texas has left 14 on base through the first 8. There's a strike to the freshman center fielder.
We're getting double barrel action in the bullpen right now for Mississippi State.
That'll get out of play. It's 1-2. A couple right-handers heating up in a hurry if necessary for Hail State. Top of the lineup after Maddox Mansour. His second plate appearance with the bases full of Longhorns in this game. And he strikes out swinging. It's a big-time pitch delivered by Dane Burns as the freshman makes the second out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Well, Robbins will not represent the possible tying run, but if he does go deep here, the man on deck, Carson Tinney, would. And this is what Aiden Robbins has done in conference play. Just 1 for 7 this year with the bases loaded. Inside edge. Robbins been on base 5 times in this game. 2 walks, a hit by pitch, a double, also reached on an error. Ground ball, base hit into left center field. 2-run score. Aiden Robbins makes it a 3-run game. And Carson Tinney will represent the possible tying run coming up next for Texas.
You mentioned it, being able to get something to continue to extend the inning. He got a curveball that was elevated and hit it right back where it came from. And you know, most of the time they play him to pull, so they got a chance to hit the ball right at the normal shortstop position for that to happen.
Well, Carson Tinney hit a big home run in the bottom of the 9th to walk off Sam Houston on Tuesday. A home run here would tie it. He's hit by the pitch. And the possible tying run is now on base. And Anthony Pack Jr. will step up as the possible winning run for Texas. Anthony Pack Jr. is 7 for 10 this year with the bases loaded. He came up with the bases loaded in the 8th inning and flew out to left field. Here's a swing away from sending everybody here in burnt orange home happy. Right in there for a strike from Burns. The SEC leader in batting average against conference pitching. His 17-game hitting streak hanging in the balance. He's 0 for 4 today with a walk. Swing and a miss. Texas has batted around. They've struck for 3 runs here in the bottom of the 9th. They put the possible tying run on base. They've got the possible winning run up there. But now they're down to their final strike. Dane Burns on 0-2. Misses with ball 1. For Anthony Pack Jr., you can't be thinking grand slam. You just have to keep the line moving here.
Absolutely.
Adrian Rodriguez on deck, homered way back when this bottom of the 9th started. This is a huge spot for the true freshman. He has looked wise beyond his years in his first 40-plus games at Texas. A little bit of 9th inning drama on the 40 acres. The 1-2. Just off the outside edge. A close miss. It's 2-2. You can see Anthony Pack Jr. pounding his chest, trying to keep a slow heartbeat in this big spot.
This is a big moment.
Burns ready. The 2-2 home. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. A 4th straight inning in which Texas leaves the bases loaded and Mississippi State holds on for a Game 2 win in Austin.
What a performance. What a performance by the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Coming in, battled halfway through the game, and then all of a sudden, boom, they get something excited going. A big performance by the Bulldogs and a big win to even the series.
And this strikeout puts a final number in that left on base column. 17 stranded runners for Texas today, something they'll be thinking about when looking back at this loss.
Yeah, there was a lot of opportunity that was out there. You talked about it earlier in the ball game. Situationally, you've got to find a way to drive in those runs, and leaving 17 on, yeah, you would definitely kick yourself a little bit on that one.
Been more than 4 decades since Mississippi State won a game in Austin. They haven't played here since 1983, but they even up this series at a game apiece and will go for the series victory in the rubber match tomorrow on ESPN. So 7-4, Mississippi State wins it. 4 runs in the 7th, 2 more in the 8th. Tomorrow's series finale at 2 Eastern on ESPN. For Mike Harge and our entire crew, I'm Chris Sylvester saying so long from Austin, where Mississippi State matches its win total from last season. 7-4, your final score from the dish. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night.